Morning, everybody. Got to take a short break. We're going to come right back, get the show going. There's plenty to talk about right after these words.
The next governor of New York, George Pataki, gives thanks to the next commissioner of traffic, Howard Stern.
You did get the word out, and it was just great, Howard, and I got to thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I noticed George wasn't giving you credit when he's holding those big news conferences.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know, it's really very... What is it?
I have King of all messengers on the line when you get
1 second. I got to say something. I'm reading... I'll tell you how now I see how newspaper reporters ruin people's lives. And, you know, I see actors on TV sometimes. They say, you know, the Inquirer made up a story about me and they ruined my life.
Yeah, my marriage is over.
My marriage is over. My wife is leaving me, you know, because of the National Enquirer. And I always go, oh, please shut up. But I now have to sympathize. It was probably
true, is what we usually say.
On page 3 of the Daily News, page 5 of the Daily News today is an innocent little story about how radio guys made waves this election. In other words, they talk about Ed Koch was on the radio talking to Senator Alphonse D'Amato yesterday. Gee, I wonder why D'Amato calls him and not me.
Well, that's interesting.
I don't understand that at all.
I didn't know Al was talking to anybody on the radio yesterday.
Koch doesn't support Pataki, and yet he goes, well, hey, listen, what are you going to do? I haven't even heard a call from D'Amato. I'm shocked. I thought last night at my house I'd get a call. He's always calling every 2 minutes.
He called a lot before.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Gee, he couldn't have asked for a guy who supported his man more than me.
Yeah, you were right in there.
Yeah, right in there when the guy was 20 points down. Well, anyway, I don't care. I did what I wanted to do. They say in the article by Frank Lombardi and Larry Sutton, I want to thank them for making up a story about me.
Let me hear what they say.
Why can't they make up a positive story once in a while? Well, you're going to be shocked when you hear this.
All right.
It says much of Campaign 94 took place over the airwaves, and they mention all the different guys, you know, who, you know.
The usuals.
Right. Pataki, then they talk about media exit polls reported that 19% of those casting ballots Tuesday listened to talk radio. In the governor's race, 56% of them voted for George Pataki, 39% voted for Governor Cuomo, 4% for Tom Golisano, and 1% for others. Pataki acknowledged at least one radio supporter bright and early yesterday by calling shock jock Stern. Yet Howard was miffed. Pataki had failed to thank him publicly election night, so Stern gave the new governor a tongue lashing.
Really?
What call was this? So I'm reading this to Ralph in the back room while he's doing my makeup. He goes, what show was they listening to? When did I give the governor a tongue lashing?
Thank goodness we have tape.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, but I want you to get word to Pataki today and say that this story is slanderous. I want this cleared up.
I will.
I didn't give any tongue lashing. And gee whiz.
When did you do that?
They say, is this the height of radio arrogance or a reflect? I want a retraction. I want you to get me Gary. What is your name? Gary. Frank Lombardi and Larry Sutton on the phone. Either one from the Daily News.
And ask them where they got this story. We'll ask them here.
And I guarantee you they're going to tell me they got the information secondhand. Because there's no way they heard it on this show. But that's not fair.
I agree.
Who asked you to agree?
Well, you know, you can never prove that malice stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, I want to prove to the audience that these guys are reporters that are walking around making up stories.
But I'm just saying, you really ought to be able to sue in a situation like that.
I am going to sue.
You never can prove malice. You know, It's not only that they printed something wrong, you have to prove that they printed it with the intention of ruining your life.
Right.
Stupid law.
Did you notice that Newsday gave you credit for something?
What is that?
They gave you credit for ascertaining that Libby did not sleep with...
Yeah, I saw this. So then the other article is... I thought actually the Post handled it in a more interesting way. Here, listen to this. Howard talks dirty with new First Lady.
Oh, jeez.
Always.
Oh, that's
always presented in the best light, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Spend 10 minutes on the phone with a woman, make one statement, and that makes the headline.
Of course, I asked the questions that they all wish they could ask, and they don't.
Well, look at what they're writing.
Politics made strange bedfellows yesterday for Libby Pataki and got into a wild chat with Howard Stern about her sex life. The bizarre conversation heard live. Bizarre. Can you imagine? This is Bill Hoffman, my supposed friend. The bizarre like it was so bizarre. It was so outrageous.
It's so ridiculous, this puritanical country.
The bizarre conversation heard live on radio stations across the nation began after Mrs. Pataki called the shaggy-haired... Notice when she was calling me during the campaign, they wouldn't write it up. Called the shaggy-haired shock jock to thank him for supporting her husband for governor. Moments into their chat, the self-described king of all media changed the subject. Quote, "You're a very sexy woman. You're still vital. There's no problem with that," Stern began. I just think it's funny. When I read back what I say, I go, did I say that?
Vital?
Vital. I did say that.
You did?
Well, she has needs. Listen, January 1st, I said, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to hold you during the inauguration. You are, Libby said. Yes, I am going to cradle you, Stern said. Well, I have a few security people around me now. As of midnight last night, Howard, I think your chances are going down fast, Libby answered. The conversation then turned more suggestive. Oh, jeez, is that suggestive?
You were telling her you were going to comfort her if she was crying because her husband was being inaugurated.
Yeah, so Bill thinks that's sexual. Of course, Bill hasn't cradled anyone in the last 20 years. So you and George have not slept together as husband and wife, as him as the governor and you as the majesty. Libby says no. Oh, boy, wow, that's going to be a night of passion, Stern said. Libby, I wouldn't call it sleeping last night. We were more like passed out. Stern, so tonight's the night where you'll really appreciate each other and bask in each other's glow. Am I correct? It's like, I talk like a guy who writes a porno book.
I think that you talk like one of those old poets.
Yeah.
Bask in a glow.
That's how porno novels are written, though. Libby laughs. Stern. So will that be happening tonight? Libby, hopefully. Stern, oh, God bless you. Take pictures and send one. Libby laughs. Stern, all right, Your Highness. Libby, you're a trooper. About 20 minutes before the conversation, George Pataki had called Howard to thank him, but Howard did not talk about sex with the governor. I don't know. That sounds like a Danielle Steele novel to me.
You're right about that. She makes a lot of money.
Libby Pataki makes Stern sizzle. This is from Newsday. This is on page 4. Pataki's too poop for passion? Question mark.
I like that.
Come on.
Not long after George Pataki. You notice, I was talking to Libby before she became the majesty, or the first lady, about sex during the campaign. No one cared because they figured Pataki was going to lose. Now that he's the governor, everything is news.
In hindsight, those are important conversations.
Not long after George Pataki phoned Howard Stern yesterday morning to thank the radio host for his support, the governor-elect's wife, Libby, called the program. Asked if she had slept with her husband Tuesday night. She said, I slept with him about 25 minutes. How was it, Stern asked. I don't know. We were dead. You're a very sexy woman, Stern added later, promising to hold her at the inauguration. Stern then pressed further, asking in a suggestive manner if the two had yet slept together, as him as the governor and you as the majesty. No, Libby Pataki said. Oh, boy, wow, Stern said. That's going to be a night of passion. I wouldn't call it sleeping last night. We were more like passed out. So tonight's the night where you can appreciate each other and bask in each other's glow. Am I correct? Libby Pataki giggled. Will that be happening, Stern asked? Libby said, hopefully. You know, it's just so degrading that human beings, no matter who they are, have to have sex.
Well, yeah, everybody has to do, these functions have to be performed.
Yeah. So that's from Newsday.
Even in the White House, it's going on. The bed springs are creaking.
But anyway, I want to get on the phone from the Daily News, Larry Sutton or Frank Lombardi, and find out how those two guys concocted a story where I berated George Pataki. And I want to know...
What kind of tongue lashing would you have given him?
I just want to know how they go about creating the news. Actually, you know, the Daily News is kind of weird. Hello?
Good morning.
Hey. Yeah, I got to say one more thing on this topic before I get off it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Stern.
Good morning, Commissioner Stern.
I got to say one more thing on this topic.
Yes.
Let me think about what it was. Oh, the Daily News. You know, I got to say one thing. No one's ever going to bring this up, but I got to question one thing. The Daily News, 2 days before the election, had a poll where George Pataki was back down to 15 points below Mario Cuomo. Mm-hmm. The Post had him about 4 points apart.
Right. With
Cuomo leading. The day before the election, the Daily News had Pataki behind about 13 points. Something like that. Mm-hmm. The New York Post had them dead even. Now, why? And I said to myself, how the hell? I'm reading the Daily News, and it looks like there's no hope for Pataki. It looks like he's going to lose. And I'm reading the Post, and their poll is saying it's a dead heat.
No, they don't poll the same people.
They don't poll the same people, but it's their polling method and what you pay for the poll. You know, don't forget, there's all kinds of pollsters out there. It's just like you could hire one kind of disc jockey or you could hire us to get what you pay for.
True. What are you saying? They got a bad poller?
I'm saying that it's time to, because don't forget, that affects the, people.
People look at that and say, hey, I got to go with the winner or
right.
whatever.
Or you say, hey, the guy's a loser. What's the difference? He's down by 15 points. I'm not going to vote. You got to understand something. That's an incredibly irresponsible poll when it says 15 points below. And yet,
Howard, you're defeating your own argument. The guy won.
Doesn't matter. The guy won. The New York Post had him dead even. Fortunately, people didn't pay that much attention to the Daily News poll. But the point is that if the level of polling is done in an irresponsible way, and then the newspaper reports it as fact, and they put across a big headline, Pataki down 15 points, it's irresponsible. And the methodology of the polling, it's just like we have rating services. Mm-hmm. If you have two competing rating services, and they both have completely different ratings, showing this the #1 radio show, and also the same radio show being number 20, someone's going to do an investigation because it affects livelihoods and outcome.
But I just have to say to you that it depends on it doesn't mean that the pollsters were necessarily irresponsible if you understand statistics.
No, absolutely not. If you are hired as a pollster, and the result is the next day that Pataki won.
Yes.
And you have a New York Post poll that shows them in the dead heat. Mm-hmm. So some pollsters got it right.
No.
One got it wrong.
I would say none of the pollsters got it right.
Oh, yes, I would consider the New York Post poll right.
The New York Post poll was closer.
Of course.
But there was a 5-point spread in the win margin.
They always say it's plus or minus 3. It's pretty damn close.
That's close. It's still not right on. But quite frankly,
they're kicking you down to the last vote.
All the time that say, this guy was supposed to win.
You're
or that
missing
guy was
the point.
I'm just telling you,
if the Daily News and NBC do a poll together, I don't know that it was NBC, it was one of the stations, do a poll together, and they are so off. One has to question who they're paying to take these polls and where they're getting their information from and where they're reporting it. I'm not against the Daily News. I don't favor one over the other. I'm just saying that is a disturbing poll.
But I'm simply saying a poll is not an election.
No, but there is a methodology and it's a science. Now, it's not a guess. It is based on scientific data, and there are other pollsters who all got it right, and they were way off.
It's a theoretical guess based on their hypothesis.
No, you're saying it's the difference between the Inquirer and a real newspaper. If you're saying to me that every newspaper was close in the ballpark, and you got one guy out there who's like saying, oh, by the way, and here's a San Francisco earthquake, and there is none, it's irresponsible. Oh, come on already. See the point? You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes.
You say you have a point.
Of course there's a point. You got to listen, if you're going to pass yourself off as a responsible news organization, you've got to get a poll that at least is somewhere in this hemisphere. What are you talking about? You're on the air.
Okay, I have 2 calls. First one is to a nurses' teleconference in Minnesota.
Okay, let's hear it. Now, by the way, this is king of all messengers.
Yes.
He's the guy who calls up and makes all the phony phone calls to these various television stations. And he has a satellite in his house. He gets shows for nurses.
Yeah, all over the country.
This is a show for nurses?
Yes, a nursing teleconference. Nurses teleconference.
Oh, dear.
All right.
Real boring, but here you go.
For achieving this, I think we have to change our system to responsive to these new networks. I'm sure that's a term we're going to be seeing more and more. We have another caller online. This is Jack Martling from Austin, Minnesota. Hi, Jack. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. I'm a RN in Austin, Minnesota, in Mary Immaculate Hospital. I'd like to know what can be done to encourage young men and women to seek a career in nursing to alleviate the shortage of nurses in many hospitals. And are any of you aware of the blisters that have formed on Howard Stern's penis? Papa Bowie?
Well, thanks for calling. We've been getting it's a sort of a nationwide trick where callers will call into talk shows and continue this. But he did actually bring up a good point.
Boy, you really threw her.
And
she probably figured on a nursing show.
Yeah.
What do you... You know, who is going to call? Only nurses would be watching.
Like she got clunked in the head or
yeah. Nurse Martling really threw her.
Yeah. Male nurse.
Male nurse Martling. What else you got for us?
The second call is to a financial show in Florida called Talk About Money.
Okay.
Here you go.
To do what Jim tries to do is open the mind with the terminology, and then for you to do your homework and go the right way. Let's go to Pennsylvania, and we're going to talk to Jackson in Pennsylvania. Are you with us?
Yes, I am, Jim. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good to have you with us.
My name is Jackson Delabate. My pleasure.
Jackson.
I don't know much about stocks, Jim. However, I recently bought a stock on a recommendation, and it had a reverse split.
Right.
And I think I would have done better if I would have invested in baby diapers or Howard Stern's new movie, Da-Da Dewey, Da-Da Dewey.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, Howard Stern, dum-dum-dum, dum-dum-dum, dum-dum-dum. By the way, I forgot to mention, in my opening remarks when I talked about the sad things that go on, I'm going to add Howard Stern to Madonna and all the other things. We'll be right back.
Oh, I all shook up. You had to go commercial.
I wish I'd had the opening statement where you were being added to Madonna.
Yeah. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum.
That guy really gets carried away.
Well, what is that, a financial show?
It's a financial show on every Sunday for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. You don't like me much.
No,
All right.
not at all.
Very good.
Thank you, Howard. Stay well. I love you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely love him. He's wild. King of all messengers with his phony phone call collection. He must be well over 100 phony phone calls at this point.
Oh, gee, you're underestimating him.
Yeah. He's terrific. And he calls obscure shows.
I love that post office show he used to call.
Yeah.
There's a postal show.
Postal show, nursing show. We got to get... I don't know why he has satellite and we don't.
That kind of satellite. I still don't think we can get what he's got.
Yeah, he's got a weird satellite. I know people with satellite, they don't get those shows.
You never hear of these things.
I think he actually has like a NASA satellite. You know, he's pulling down shows. Because you know what it sounds like he's pulling down? It's like if a nurses convention gets together and they decide to teleconference,
yeah.
You know, you pull it up on a satellite. But God only knows how he's getting all that.
Because I just can't imagine anybody broadcasting the postal show where people get together and talk about how to wrap a package.
Yeah, because I know, like, I've been part of, like, satellite conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes when I did book promotion, I sat in New York, and they beamed me up on a satellite, and you could, you know, the various television stations would pull me down off the satellite.
Yeah, but at least that's something you might want to see on television. This nurses conference.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he has the ability to pull down
what you'd think would be
what the TV stations are pulling down. You know.
But what I'm saying about the nurses conference is it sounds more like something that very few people would see. Maybe even it's in-house. It's not even an outside thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. How's he doing all that?
I don't know.
Fringe.
Yeah, he's got the real fringe stuff. Like, to me, if you pull down, like, a weird cable access show, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's pulling down private conferences.
Right. I mean, I thought the coolest stuff was, you know, seeing the network anchors on the live feed as opposed to, you know, having to watch the commercials. You see what they're doing during the commercials.
Yeah.
That I thought was cool.
Yeah.
This guy's seeing private meetings.
He's practically in your house. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I've got to... I know what I have to do. I'll tell you in a minute. We have to talk about the Zookeeper. We got a lot going on here right after.
You know what? I woke up this morning hoping today was Friday so we could do that.
Well, we're doing that tomorrow. So let me explain everything when we get back. And we'll take your phone calls right after these words.
A grateful Governor-elect George Pataki gives his thanks to Howard Stern.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Now, where's your tongue lashing?
I don't know. We are gonna call those two reporters from the Daily News to get a hold of them, Larry Sutton and Frank Lombardi. Two guys
now you're going to make them well-known names.
Yes. They have concocted... Of course, why not? They concocted a story about me. I just want to know why. I want to know why they would do that. Jackie said to me during the commercial, and quite... he actually made a good point. He said, I can't believe you're telling me that D'Amato didn't call you last night. He says he should have showed up at your door with 5 hookers after what you did.
I didn't.
But weren't you a little surprised?
Well, I didn't know that he was calling anybody else. If he hadn't called anybody, that might have been one thing. But if he was calling...
I was talking to my father last night. He goes, boy, oh boy. He says, you put that guy in office. So I said, I know.
So your father was really excited.
He was all excited and all fired up, and he was really happy for Pataki. My father was screaming. My father was right. He goes, that Cuomo, he says, you got to remember one thing. You never feel bad for Cuomo. This is a guy who was so arrogant. And this is a point we made, but this is a guy who was so arrogant, couldn't even hand in his budget on time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was now that's arrogance. When you don't hand in the budget on time, it's like, well, I'm the king.
That's the one thing you got to do.
This is not your personal fiefdom. And I'm ready. I'll hand in my. But what do you mean when you're ready? Well, excuse us. We're just the people.
You could see yesterday that it had gone beyond politics. He thought he was king of New York.
He did.
Because he ran into hiding. Nobody could even find him.
That's right. It's so great that he's out. But anyway, D'Amato. I don't know.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. I thought I was owed. Listen, I'm not owed anything, but I was surprised. He usually calls.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would have heard from him. Then I said that to my father. He says, "Hey, listen, he's not calling you." We were talking about on the air. I didn't know he'd called Koch. He goes, "He's not calling anybody because look, Pataki was his guy, and he was criticized for backing him, so he's backing off and letting Pataki have his moment." In the sun and saying, hey, he did, because Pataki did do it. I mean, D'Amato was behind him, but so what? Every politician has people behind him. He's saying, but he's taking, he wants to make sure Pataki gets the credit, not Al D'Amato.
Mm-hmm.
But then I read he called up Mayor Koch. Mayor Koch was no friend of Al D'Amato.
No, he endorsed the other guy.
Yeah. I don't understand that. Very strange. But all right. It's okay.
Politics.
Yeah, I don't even like politics. I'm sick of it. I got it out of my system.
You're getting out of politics.
I'm into movies.
Now, huh?
Hey, I was reading the Prodigy bulletin board service, and a lot of people on there are saying, gee, Howard's movie is dead. Because a couple of weeks ago, all he was talking about is the movie. Why is he not talking about the movie? Look, I can't talk about the movie every day. When I do that, people write me, stop talking about the movie.
You can't win.
I cannot win. So I figured, okay, maybe, I talked about the movie for 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe they're right. You don't want to hear every minute.
Yeah, the movie's being made. There is no script to speak of. And they're bringing in another team. They're adapting a book. It's very hard. If you read about, I was reading about Arnold Schwarzenegger's latest film. The great Ivan Reitman made a Arnold Schwarzenegger film where Arnold Schwarzenegger is pregnant. The idea came to them about 4 or 5 years ago. And it wasn't until now they finally finished the script.
Yeah.
It took them 5 years to develop it.
I was going to say, Interview with a Vampire. I think somebody owned... The rights fell into a number of different hands because people...
Couldn't figure out how to do it.
Know how to develop it.
And now you look at it and you go, wow, what a great film. What do you mean they didn't know how to develop it? Didn't they see they had a gold mine there? It takes a lot of time. In other words, you got a book and you got a lot of great stories, but there's got to be some glue that holds it together. And... none of the scripts so far read properly, and I won't make a bad movie. I mean, I have vowed not to make a bad movie, and I do have a say in what script I will do.
That probably is what happens to a lot of films. They have a certain deadline, and they decide to go ahead and make it anyway when the script isn't right.
Well, the first script that they had, the studio wanted to make it, and I was the one who said no. I said, absolutely not. This is not a good script. But I gave it to about 10 people to read who I really respect, people in the film industry. They said, you make this film, you'll be out of business. And I said, absolutely. And if we had made the film, yes, it would have made money. It would have made money at the box office. But ultimately, the fans would have figured I was high on crack when I made it. So
You would have been Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, so I said, let's go back to the drawing board. I wrote a lot of scenes myself where I said these are the kinds of scenes I think we're looking for, something with a little humor in them, something with my slant, and I went through that, and then we had John Avildsen, and I don't know if you read the article in the paper, but it was, Avildsen and Reicher did not get along, nothing. In fact, I spoke to John Avildsen on Sunday. We were talking for about an hour, just had a long conversation, and... so it's evidently...
So it's not you fighting with John Avildsen.
No, I'm not fighting. I like John Avildsen. I like him. Yeah, well, some newspapers printed that I was in some war or something. There's no war. The process is going on. It continues to go on. And, listen, that's it. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to report everything? I started reporting everything, and then people tell me, don't report everything. Just boring. So, okay, fine. Now you have an update.
don't know anything.
Now you don't know anything. There it is. And I read these guys on Prodigy. They appear to be like people who know me or something. They go, well, the movie's over. I go, movie's over? How come I'm reading that the movie is over? It's far from over. You got to understand something. When movie guys smell money, nothing's over.
Yeah, they'll get it made.
They know you're sitting there waiting to pay money to see these
They
movies.
know that that's the $750 they could have. They just have to figure out how to collect it.
Yeah. And, well, actually, they figured out how to collect it. The problem is I wouldn't go along with it.
Well, that's another problem.
Yeah.
They have to come get by you to collect it.
They got to come up with a script that I would do. I'm not that particular, but the first one was, listen, I never read such garbage. I mean, if I did that, you would come to the movie, Robin, take me and slam my head into a wall and go, what are you doing? You would have been really, I don't know. I was doing things I never even heard of.
Really? Oh, I want to see that script. You know what?
You were going to see every one of them.
You really ought to bring them in sometimes and read us some of the stuff that you rejected.
No. I wouldn't do that to you. You know what I would like to do?
What?
If my first movie's a hit, I'd like to now make these other movies, these other scripts, and release them as this is what they wanted me to do.
Great television special.
Wouldn't it?
Great television special.
All right, now I will do the movies that the studios all wanted me to do.
The unmaking of.
Yeah. So it is a process of achieving excellence that we will achieve. It just will take time. I think that it's a project that's worthwhile, and I'm anxious to make the movie. So don't get me wrong.
I just hope you're not too old to play yourself.
That's one of the issues right now. I will have to play myself as a young man, and the clock is ticking. My biological clock is ticking.
It just occurred to me that could happen.
Yeah. Well, listen. I thought listen. I've never made a movie before, but I have enough brains in my head to know that it was kind of kooky. I was sitting over there at Reicher Entertainment, and they're making face molds of me and hair fittings and costuming.
Like things were a go.
They were a go, but there was no script. I kept saying, guys, there's no script. What are you making hair potions for? I have no script. They said, don't worry, it only takes 2 weeks to write a script. I said, 2 weeks? I said, how come I read? It takes 11 years to develop, I'm not saying it's going to take 11 years, but maybe we should devote more than 2 weeks. Well, they're always giving me these deadlines over there. They said, we got to have the script within the next 2 weeks. I go, but we just started a day ago. How can you make a script in 2 weeks? It's a movie. Oh, you don't know anything about the movie business, they tell me. It can be done. I said, well, okay, show me. I mean, I'd love to have a script in 2 weeks. Who wants to wait? I'm one of these impulsive guys. I like to have things.
You're ready to go now.
I'm ready to go, too. I love to act. To be or not to be. There I am. By the time we make this thing, it'll be 6 different Howard Stern supports. Right. Well, the problem is, if you give a guy 2 weeks to write a movie, they spend very little time talking or thinking about it. They just start typing.
Without any direction.
I know. I mean, I know. I've done it. I wrote a script in a week and a half, and it looks it.
Let me ask you something.
You think you're in a drug party.
More words. An opium den.
More words. We only got 30 more pages to go.
More words. Just throw in an and and a the.
I sat in a room and wrote a whole thing here.
Like taking one of those blue book exams.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's what it's like.
100 words minimum. And then we walk down to the corner.
Right. Oh, unbelievable.
How can you drag that out?
Right.
In the script writing process now, you were talking about the concept of a lot of the story doesn't have to be told because you have the visual.
That's right.
Where do you write the visual? Is there like one side for dialogue and one side for...
That's a good question, Rob. It's not a TV script. They do audio on one side and video on the other.
Yeah.
In a film, there's ways of conveying it. You have your scenes.
It's more like a play?
When I take you, okay, let's say we're gonna do a scene at your house, Robin's apartment, and I would say exterior, EXT dot, and then I would say Robin's apartment, 1994, present day, whatever it is to indicate daytime, okay, or sunrise.
Okay.
And then I would take you. That would be in caps. So now you know where you are, what time of day it is. And then you go to the next line, and underneath that line you would write, not in caps, in regular lettering. This is standard script format. You would write, Robin is in the kitchen eating, a sandwich while her cats are making duty on her feet. And you describe all this action. Now, so far, no speaking has gone on.
Right.
She walks over to the telephone. She's wearing sexy lingerie. Her panties come off, and she begins to fondle her own thighs and buttocks.
This is wild.
All right, so now this is all action.
Dialogue?
That's what I'm saying. And then you begin to describe the scene, you know, in terms of, in the beginning, there's more description. As things go along, you start to get the rhythm of it.
Everybody will know what the apartment looks like or whatever because there's been scenes there before.
Right, and even if there was a music thing going on, while you usually don't get too specific, but if there was a specific song because you had to hear Daydream Believer by the Monkees, then you would say, Robin puts the record Daydream Believer by the Monkees on and begins to jiggle around the apartment, her breasts swaying to and fro, her lithe body. You understand? All right?
Because I was watching a scene in a movie the other day, and it was a love scene, and there were no words.
Right. That's how it is done. So exterior Robin's apartment day. And you come into the apartment, cat crap is everywhere, Robin's running around.
Thank you very much.
Now,
why is cat crap always in these scenes?
I don't know, because you have 27 cats in there. In my scene, there's 14 cats, 28 vibrators, a hammock-sized brassiere. It's so sexual and animal, it's just wrong. Everything's wrong.
The whole house, the bed, and
now,
the brassiere.
when you are finally in the movie ready to speak,
you
go to the center of the page, and in caps and bold, perhaps bold if you want, just caps, it says Robin, R-O-B-I-N. With then you go to the next line. The next line is further out. It is a centered dialogue, and for example, you would say, "I'm busy," and then that would be, "I'm busy."
You know what? I don't know where this "I'm busy" came from. You know, I feel like
even I know where that came from.
I feel like Cary Grant, who never said Judy.
No, you always say "I'm busy."
No, I say I don't have time.
I'll take a poll.
I hope it's by the Daily News.
Then, like if I was going to do a crane shot, you see, there's a sweeping crane shot. You don't even put the directors consider it an insult if you tell them what kind of shot. But if it's a specific thing you have, there's a sweeping panorama of Robin's self-portrait hanging on the wall. You know.
This already sounds like a movie I want to see.
Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll write this in. Hey, so far it's easy to write this screenplay. The Robin story. Robin fondles herself. Then you put Robin.
Touch these, kitty.
Touch these, kitty. There you go. Hey, Jackie's a screenwriter. Maybe he's got something there. Punching up. He is talented over there. Who knew? All right, turn that off. Done with the Robin movie. Back to my movie. All right, what do you want to do? Oh, I got to do something here, and then I'm going to take a commercial break, and then I'm going to take phone calls.
You got to talk to me about the Zookeeper and what is going to happen, because I'm dying to see what the final plan has become.
All right, let me do that. I got something I also want to play for you next. I want to prove to you how stupid Tom Cruise is. We'll be with that right after these words.
The First Lady of New York, the lovely Libby Pataki, calls Howard Stern to give thanks for her husband, the next governor.
I got to tell you, it was the turning point when you came out and endorsed him.
Yes, thank you. Oh, I'm so embarrassed by those.
Nothing self-serving about
those
that.
Those are very embarrassing. Listen, I had no idea those were being made. Don't hook me up to a lie detector. Well, hey, listen, I got to just play for you. You got to hear this guy, Tom Cruise, talk. I was watching the Oprah Winfrey show. I said, it's unbelievable. She was not asking him tough questions. She was not asking him questions that require... In other words, if she had said to him, Tom Cruise, what is... what if I was
the transmission mechanism of
thank you
AIDS, the AIDS HIV virus?
You would probably go, wait a second, let me think about this for a second, and then you come up with some answer or say I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if someone asks you a tough algebraic equation and said solve it, you would have to think. Even a guy great at math would have to think for a few seconds. Right? You could say I don't know. But she would ask him. I don't know. I don't know. She's asking him about his family or his father. I think just listen for 2 seconds as this guy answers a question about his father.
You're not going to tell us what the question is?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You got to hear this guy. I'm watching the TV. I said, boy, I like this guy. I think he's a good actor. But he's got to be the dumbest guy on the planet.
Do you regret having been that open?
Listen, that was after a long period of discussing, and I actually...
We're talking about Tom talking about his father to another reporter.
I don't know. I really... I mean, it's something that...
You didn't touch it. Swear on my mother's life.
Are you kidding me?
After a long time talking to someone, I didn't plan on discussing it. I just felt comfortable at that time.
I mean, I got to tell you something. As I'm watching this show, I said, what the hell is this so tough for this guy? evidently some reporter had interviewed him about his father. So he said, what? You find that Oprah starts answering the question for him because he's so stupid.
Not only that, but she has to remind people. His answer takes so long, she has to remind people what the question is.
I mean, here, I swear to you that is not Dr. Baba Booey. Would you stand by me on that?
I knew that when we were polling this that people were going to say that because it sounds so bad.
It's like trying to help a stutterer.
Yeah, right. She's
the word for him.
Let me tell you something. You ever see these mob guys when they take the stand?
Yeah.
They're more forthcoming than Tom Cruise in an interview. I don't know what's this guy's problem.
Maybe he needs the witness protection program.
I think these guys think that they're so important that anything they answer. If the woman's trying to create an hour television program, you got to feel bad for her. Trying to create something.
And
with
she
this
got
guy.
you there.
And she's got a piece of wood there. I mean, the guy could speak, I assume. Listen, this actually fills in his words.
Okay.
Example number 2.
How did it affect me? I really,
You don't think you were affected?
She just answered the question. You don't think you were affected. How did it affect you? All he said was, And she goes, you don't think you were affected. Yeah.
He is John Wayne Bobbitt.
In what way? Like, what are you looking for? I don't understand.
He's incredible. Just sit back. You don't have to say anything. Just sit back and listen to this again. I'm going to play the same one again. Let's just listen.
Do you regret having been that open?
Listen, that was after a long period of discussing, and I actually,
We're talking about Tom talking about his father to another reporter.
I don't know. I really, it's something that, you feel after a long time talking to someone. I didn't plan on discussing it. I just felt comfortable.
By the time you get to the answer, you're ready to kill yourself.
It doesn't even matter anymore. It wasn't that important.
Write him a script.
By the way, Howard, King of all VCRs sent me a note. He counted up the amount of times Tom Cruise says during these entire.
How many times? Let me guess. 173.
No, it was only like 68.
Oh, well, 68.
Yeah, but that was one answer.
Yeah. I don't know.
How did it affect me? I really,
You don't think you were affected?
In what way? Like, what are you looking for? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Could you rephrase the question?
Did it disturb you that this is what you will portray to millions of people?
I can't take it. Now, mind you, that's a woman in the audience getting up and saying, gee, how could you make a vampire movie that will affect people?
Which is a stupid question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid question, but you turn to her and you go, lady, are you stupid? I mean, you say something. It's a movie. We're talking about a movie. He's stumped.
Somebody should say that to him, too, though. It's a movie.
Yeah, well, he does eventually say that. He even says it. I mean, the guy's not that dumb. I mean, he'd be retarded not to say that. He says to her, I don't understand.
Thank goodness he has that pretty face.
Yeah. And like a woman said to me yesterday.
Yes.
The great Kathy Tobin said to me, I don't care how stupid he is.
Amen.
Look at him.
That's right.
I said, well, there you go. That's true. That is very true.
Who needs him to talk?
Exactly. Believe me, with his face, he never had to think. Forrest Cruz.
You act like all those babes you drool over are articulate.
Exactly. Hey, Amy Lynn, I'll have you know, went to Harvard. All right. Let me take a break, and then I will come back and not only discuss the Zookeeper, I'm going to take a couple of phone calls, because we haven't done that in a while. I have a million things to go through. Our mailbag is full. There's a lot of excitement in the air, Rob, and we'll be back right after these.
The next governor of New York, George Pataki, shows his gratitude to Howard Stern for making him governor.
We were campaigning at the Long Island Railroad at Penn Station, and everybody's going, Howard's for you. I got to go vote for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. There you go. Very exciting. That's embarrassing when you play those. Oh, stop that.
Right.
Stop that already.
I can see him now. Get those and lay them down and tell everybody I'm responsible.
Very, 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 very embarrassing. That's all I can tell you.
What is it? Nothing.
Yeah, thank you. All right. You're going to stand there and stare at me all day. I received a fax that says Senator Al D'Amato was on several talk shows yesterday, but did give me specific credit for having supported Pataki, but it was surprising he never called me.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Very, very odd. I'm shocked by that. Let's go to our phones. Miami, you're on the air.
Howard. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hi, Howard. A couple of different things. One, I was up in New York this past weekend doing the New York Marathon, and...
why would you do that?
Well, I'm from Long Island. I grew up in East Meadow, was living in Dix Hills, and made the stupid decision to move to Florida about 11 years ago.
Yeah, that is a dumb decision. You know, everyone always thinks Florida's going to be so great, but you got to have a lot of money to move to Florida.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, it's like death warmed over down here.
Yeah, and you're broke, right?
No, I'm doing all right, but...
you have a job? What do you have, a bread route?
No, I do root canal, and I calm down my patients listening to your show.
Oh, you're a dentist?
Yeah.
Oh, well, a dentist can make it down there because you got plenty of old suckers.
Oh, tell me about it.
Rotting teeth.
With rotting teeth.
Yeah.
Well, if you got a skill like that, you can move to Florida. But I can't tell you how many guys I know. You know, guys, let's say, who's let's say a limo driver or something like this. They run down to this Florida because they got to get away. And they all end up coming back.
I tell you, if the economy was better on Long Island, we would have been back years and years ago.
Well, listen, you don't go from the Long Island economy to the Florida economy, which is completely stagnant. Those old people clutch that money. They don't spend a dime.
Well, you'd be surprised. They do
Well,
better.
no, in the medical profession they do because we all pay the bill.
They pour it into the medical.
They all got Medicaid. You doctors are all trained in ripping off the Medicaid system.
No, we don't take any Medicaid.
Oh, you don't? Well, there you are. Honest John.
But so what happened is that out of sheer boredom, I took up running. So I'm up in New York forever. You know, I go to Eisenhower Park.
Imagine you got so much time that you could run 26 miles.
When you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's what you do.
And what do? You walk around exhausted all day?
I go to sleep at 9 o'clock like you.
You know, the proper amount of exercise is, you run for maybe a half hour. If you want to run even, you don't even need to run. You can walk around.
Doctors will tell you it's 20 minutes 3 times a week.
I agree with you. But,
But these fanatics who have nothing better to do, and they all get into it. They form clubs, road running clubs.
Yeah, they got groups of people they run with. They're not talking.
Right. Special sneakers. They all look like they're from Dachau. They urinate blood.
I tell you, I was going to stop.
How many hours a week do you train? Tell the truth.
I do about 35 miles a week, 40 miles a week.
Imagine 40. Now, this is on foot. 40 miles a week. This is not a guy in a car. I don't even do 40 miles a week in my car.
But you want to know, it's funny. So we did the marathon and everything was fine. And they have this disco on Sunday.
What do you do when you have to go to the bathroom? You just pee right in your pants?
Well, there's a ritualistic wall as soon as you cross the Verrazano Bridge. Everybody goes on the wall, and then that's it for the next 20-some miles.
That is disgusting.
Thank you very much.
What if you have diarrhea? You keep running, right?
I don't know. Thank God I haven't had that yet.
You never had to make a bowel movement when you were like 10 miles into it?
Not in, down in Florida, you got these little portalets hanging around where they're constructing, so you go to the portalet.
What is it, Gary?
You know, I know a lot of people who run, and it's funny that you bring that up when they...
And God forbid they stop for a bowel movement.
Here's what happens. Sometimes they...
It'll affect their time. Their time. No, you imagine, and they make... Greta Weitz had diarrhea as she ran along.
Yeah, isn't that disgusting?
Or they run, in a rural area.
Yeah.
They just stop and go to the bathroom, and that's it. And then they don't...
Like a dog.
But they don't have any toilet paper or anything.
Yeah, everybody carries supplies with them.
With gushy tushy.
But so, wait,
Maybe
Sunday night...
better.
The Sunday night, they have this disco at Roseland, and who's dancing around there with your sign and your jacket on? Melrose Larry.
Well, Melrose Larry wrote me a rambling 5 or 6 page letter about how he doesn't get on this show anymore, and he is loyal. I mean, like a complete cuckoo bird.
Why doesn't he get on this show anymore?
I don't know. He has nothing to say.
He never got on this show.
Gorilla's convinced he's on Prozac because he used to call up and yell at us, and now he goes, "Hi, it's Larry. I'd really need to talk to you guys." But now he's like really calmed. So
I don't know, but that letter was rambling.
He's dancing around the disco with a sign, Howard Stern for governor. And he's wearing a jacket, Howard Stern on it and everything. So I said, you're going to see Howard Monday? Oh, definitely. Going up to see Howard Monday.
Yeah, well, it's his highlight.
And did you notice how he tells you in his letter that him and Jackie Mason are really tight now?
Yeah. He tries to get me jealous.
No, but I'll tell you something. You know, people say, why'd you move to Florida? And I say, you ever watch...
I'm tired of his voice. He sounds like a woman. Why'd you move to Florida? Who cares why he moved to Florida? First of all, that story was so crummy. If I didn't sit there and work that story, that was the most boring thing. Imagine, he came to New York to run, he ran into Melrose Larry Green. That was his whole story. Stupid ass.
That should have made him rethink his whole running experience. Melrose is a runner.
You're on the air.
You're doing the same thing as Melrose Larry Green. There's something wrong with it.
Oh, that running. I sometimes want to run them over with my car.
Excuse me, I want to tell you something.
Hey, and you know what? That's a very bad foreign accent. I mean, it's not a good impression of one. See, I got to tell you something. You don't have to put on an accent. Talk like a regular guy. I'll talk to you.
All right, Howard.
Okay, thank you. Better. And relax. Calm down a little. Your breathing is very disturbing. I've never heard a human breathe like that.
Howard, what are you going to do to the Zookeeper?
All right, I'll get to that in a second. Give me time. We're going to plan it out the whole morning. All right?
You know, I have a suggestion about your movie.
This is Blackie.
I was going to say that voice sounds very familiar.
Oh, you recognize me, huh?
This is Old Black.
Big Black.
Whatever.
Big Black. How's it going?
How you doing, Big Black?
Not bad.
Blacker than black, this guy.
Why is he calling in with a fake accent?
Oh, you know he tries that. You know the best thing Old Black here did.
Big Black.
Big Black. I call you Old Black.
Because you're not that big.
Yeah, I've seen you. I don't think he is
really
big.
Bigger than me, isn't he?
I got to tell you something about Old Black. This guy.
What did he do?
You forget. He pulled the greatest scam.
What did he do?
Remember there was a guy who used to call us, and he was a quadriplegic. And he had no hands or feet. So he had to use a computer.
Right.
I had to speak by computer because I couldn't speak by my voice. Something happened to my voice box.
Yeah, he used to call us, and we used to have him on all the time.
And we would talk to him and everything.
And it was Old Blackie here. Can you hook that up real quick? Does your computer still talk?
It'll take me about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Forget it. He doesn't. He's got one of those. What do you got? An Apple or an IBM?
No, I have an Amiga.
An Amiga?
Yeah, Commodore Amiga.
Yeah, that was a smart buy.
No, it worked though.
He took the Commodore Amiga, and then he would answer, "Hello, yes." You know, he'd type out the answers.
Hello, Howard.
That was great, though, wasn't it, Howard?
How could he pull off a scam like that and yet not be able to get himself a woman?
I don't know.
Because he spends all of his time there.
I'm horrible.
He's not a great-looking guy.
Oh, he could fix himself up.
Could he?
Yeah.
What could I do?
I don't have time to deal with you.
Tell him what to do. Remember, I think he needs like a little bit of dreads or something.
Well, he's so square.
He's doofy.
Yeah, you know, he's Urkel grown up.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you get like some dreads? Why don't you find find a real happening black guy that you see.
And have him dress,
have him
take
fix
him where
you.
he goes.
Because it's pathetic. You never get laid.
I was hoping Robin would help me out.
I don't do that kind of charity.
You look like one of them shoe shine boys.
Actually, if he stood like this, you could put a lantern in his hand.
Right. He looks like a lawn jockey.
A lawn jockey. That'd be a move up for me.
But he's a nice guy. I like Old Black.
Nice.
Old Blackie.
Big Blackie.
Big Blackie. Big old Blackie.
You know what I thought would be good? Have me down tomorrow and have the Zookeeper kiss my big black ass.
I don't know that the guy's going to do that.
Why would he do that to you?
Right.
When Howard
that'd be humiliating.
I got a big black ass. All right, listen, Blackie, I got to go.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right.
That's Old Black.
Or Big Black.
I'll have you down soon. Old Blackie. Did you see him on the E! Show?
Makeover.
I don't know who gets the E! Show and who doesn't, but the show, the Halloween show, when Old Blackie came in dressed as an African cannibal.
With those grass skirts on over his BVD.
And the big bone in his nose. Did you actually see the show?
Yes.
It was wild.
Absolutely.
I never had such a good laugh. Him and King of All Blacks. It was unbelievable.
You have never seen a body like King of All Blacks exposed on TV.
And they had big bones in their nose and
their bone necklace.
Fantastic costuming.
Carrying spears.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Well, Old Black had a big bone in his hand.
That's right. He had the thigh bone.
He had a big thigh bone and a big bone in his nose. With those goofy glasses.
I know. He never took off the glasses.
Never took it
like
off.
Like a native would be running through the forest with glasses.
That E! Show is a panic. Last night they had on Martina Navratilova's old girlfriend whining about Martina. Beautiful. I think part 2 is on tonight. You got to check it out. It's great. I think
Judy Nelson?
This is a show where I convert her. I think I get her out of lesbianism and make her a real woman.
I don't remember that happening.
Well, you got to tune in. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi.
Oh, I know. This is Gary put you through. This is the girl who, what did you do? You flipped the bird to some police officers?
No, I flipped a finger to a driver behind me that was honking his horn in traffic.
Oh, yeah. Now listen to this story, Robin.
Well, I was...
Where were you driving?
I was driving in Pendle, Pennsylvania, and I was on Durham Road trying to make a left onto Bellevue Avenue. Actually, I was a passenger. I wasn't driving.
Go ahead. Let me hear the story.
So there were 2 cars ahead of us and a whole, I don't know how many cars behind us. And the first car was an older couple. And we were in Pendle dropping stuff off at the Salvation Army for my grandmother.
Listen, the whole story I don't need. I don't care.
Okay, can we get to the action?
She had been quite
You got to
sick.
understand, this is interesting to you about your grandma. Just tell me what happened between you and the cops. You were behind another car.
Mm-hmm.
And the car, what, was honking you? Or the car was behind you? Give me the details.
The car was behind me, and he kept honking the horn. I guess he thought the first couple of cars weren't pulling out quickly enough.
Okay.
And I got frustrated and flipped her the finger. It was a female driver.
Go ahead.
And we made our left.
So what did you do? You stuck your middle finger out the window?
Yeah.
And did you just stick your head out?
No.
No, just the hand went up and you flipped the bird. Okay, go ahead.
All I was saying was knock it off. I wasn't even saying anything.
Right. You got upset because they were honking. Go ahead. And you were also upset because it wasn't your fault that it was late.
Well, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So we made our left, and the police officer pulled in behind me and pulled us over and came over to the passenger side and cited me for disorderly conduct.
Really?
Yeah. The ticket said that
officer.
You deserved it. Listen, why are you flipping the bird? You know, I love these people. You know, I'm in traffic all the time because I live in New York, and obviously there's always traffic. I see these guys. They get behind you. They start honking. I let them honk. I could care less.
What are you going to do?
What can I do? I know some people panic. I said, well, let the guy honk. What's he going to do?
Yeah, but honking the horn, and if anybody reads their driver's manual...
And what are you involved for? Why are you busy with the
You're not
finger?
even driving.
Well,
and I see that people... Let me tell you something about people, human nature. Most people hear this woman, she's no brave woman. If you met her on the street and you were walking along, you bumped into her accident, she said, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
She wouldn't flip you the bird.
People get into these cars, and they think they're road warriors. I see them. They get a new personality, especially little short guys. They get a new personality. They're in their cars, and suddenly they have power, and they drive along. I see them all the time. They're weaving in and out. You know you can't drive in the right-hand lane anymore because there are guys who zoom up behind you. They start honking.
Yeah, if you just want to cruise along
if
at
you want to drive
pace,
at 50 miles an hour, the exact speed limit, they get angry. You see them. They're nuts. And these guys get behind. And if you ever stop the car and say to the guy, get out of the car, they speed off because they're pussies. They're not fighters, but they get a whole new bravery when it goes. Like this woman, she's flipping birds. Now, what if you flipped a bird and that person got out and bashed you in the head with a bat? What's the matter with you? Where do you ever flip the bird? Where do you ever flip the bird when you're walking around? You never flip the bird. All of a sudden, you're flipping the bird to people.
Yeah, but if you start putting limits on this kind of thing, then what's going to be next? They're going to be attacking you next, which they already have.
You're driving a car. There's different laws when you drive a car. When you're driving a car...
Under what I got cited under, it includes unreasonable noise. And if you read your driver's book, honking the horn...
Wait a second. You got cited for unreasonable noise?
No, I got cited for disorderly conduct, which includes obscenities and unreasonable noise.
All right, so there you go.
So you think your crime was canceled out by the honking of the horn?
It's not an obscene act if you...
No, because what if the act escalated? You know what would have happened. The woman would have come over and bashed you in the head, and then it would have been a big fight. What was it, a guy behind you or a woman?
A woman.
So you check out first to see that it's a woman. If it was a guy, you would have kept that finger in.
No,
everyone gets brave. I don't necessarily agree that people should be cited with penalties for flipping the bird. But when you're driving a car, you keep both hands in the window and pay attention to the road.
Yeah,
everyone is on the car phone. They're flipping birds. They're in arguments. I see people. They get into arguments on the road and they start speeding up next to each other. It's a whole bunch of jerks out there. You're flipping birds. The woman's honking. I tell you, it's unbelievable. If everyone would just stay on the road, it would be no problem.
Well, as far as the legal aspects of it, my lawyer's on the phone with us, and you could ask him about that.
Your lawyer? You have a lawyer now?
Well,
you're fighting them.
With all the media attention, I had a lawyer call into one of the local talk show radios.
Yeah.
and he volunteered his services for free if I chose to appeal it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You're right in a sense. The cops, should not be sitting and deciding.
But Howard, this is Phil Burke.
Oh, Phil, this is what all callers should do.
Couldn't wait for the lawyer.
Wait, let me say something. She went to court and she was found guilty.
She was found guilty. She did flip the bird.
But she was found guilty, and under the statute,
what was she found guilty of, Phil?
What's that?
What was she found guilty of?
She was found guilty of disorderly conduct for flipping the bird, which the judge said was an obscene gesture.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I came in and I've argued her First Amendment right of free speech.
Yeah, I could go along with that.
Well, I think we have to go along with that, because if not, what's next? Who can judge that? And the police officer was wrong, in our opinion.
So what are you going to do? You going to appeal?
Well, we're going to appeal it. We filed an appeal here, and under the freedom of speech, and I think she has the absolute right. We've checked case laws on this, and flipping the bird.
But she, between you and me, she should stop flipping the bird. Everyone gets behind these cars. They get nuts.
Well, I'm not going to do it anymore. I have stopped.
Yeah, don't flip the bird.
Howard, I was on your buddy's show a few weeks ago, David Brenner. And
that show's still on?
It's still on. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, but I was on your show back in the spring when David Brenner was on the show.
Yeah.
And David and I discussed this a couple weeks ago. David called me the middle finger attorney for the United States.
Is that right?
That's right.
All right, listen, you two go call David.
No, we want to stay with you.
I've heard enough.
Now, listen, Howard.
I'm not that passionate about it.
Howard, can you come up there? Can't Kim come up and show you her finger? Show you what's
No, stop it. That's silly.
Why?
Because you're a lawyer. Why are you all of a sudden trying to program a radio show?
He wants publicity.
Yeah,
no, I don't want that.
Why else would you take this case?
Why?
Crazy case. What are they asking for, $10?
No, they fined her $171.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
$171. How did they come to that?
On a $100 fine and $71 cost.
Really?
Listen, my girlfriend Carol Miller wants to say hi to you.
Who is Carol Miller?
Just my girlfriend. She wants me to make sure I say hi to you.
Oh, come on. I got to hang up. This is nonsense. Thank you.
Can we come up to your show?
No. What's the matter with those two?
Very strange phone call.
Well, that is bizarre. Cops giving tickets for flipping the bird.
I'm surprised they were at that spot at that time to see it.
That is bizarre. Phil is right about that. I'll tell you, though, these cases are wild. Well, Phil's trying to prove a point, I guess. I don't know. I tell you, flipping the bird should not be a ticket. But I don't know. I see these people that are constantly flipping the bird.
See, I wouldn't be any more bothered by her flipping the bird than I would about the people honking the horn.
Exactly. In fact, I'm more bothered by these guys who honk the horn than I am by someone flipping a bird.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get involved in any of it, is what I'm saying. If you want to honk your horn, you go ahead, honk your horn. You want to flip the bird, you flip the bird. I'm going to keep driving.
Yeah, that's all. Just drive along. I see Ronnie, the limo driver. He's in constant fights.
Oh, he's funny.
This guy drives a car. No wonder he's going to have a nervous breakdown. This guy drives a car for a living. I figured by now he would mellow out. He finds something wrong with the way everyone drives, and he's yelling, and then he does the staring. That's his shtick.
But he does worse, Howard. He gets out of the car and confronts people.
Sometimes, yes.
Oh.
That's right.
How does he do that?
How does he do? He's crazy.
Sometimes you give me a ride to my parking garage.
And he's in 37 fights.
Yeah, we go like 4 blocks.
Right.
And I get out of there, I'm tense half of the way home.
Right. Now, you drive in the city. Do you get into that many fights?
I let people go in front of me. I never harass anybody.
He's a terrorist.
I got to tell you a story.
He stands up to everyone.
I know a guy just like Ronnie.
Yeah.
And one day, because I saw Ronnie do this once, take on a bus driver.
Right.
And luckily, Ronnie didn't step inside the bus. This guy made the mistake of stepping inside the bus.
And got beat up?
And the bus driver hit him right in the nose.
Oh, is that right? You were in the car when Ronnie got in a fight with a bus driver.
Yeah. But Ronnie walks to the bus driver's window. So
right.
The bus driver can't get him. This guy walked in the door to yell at the bus driver for cutting him off.
Yeah, he's in a war.
And this guy got his nose broken.
Right.
But it makes no sense because he cuts everybody off, and then he's going to fight with somebody for cutting him off.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't cut him off. He cuts you off.
Well, that's what all those guys are like.
But he claims he only cuts people off after they cut him off. Me, I have never once been cut off because I don't even know what it is to get cut off.
He's egalitarian about it.
I drive the car. I don't know. The guy goes in front of me. I figure, okay, let him go.
He needed to.
Yeah. He's obviously in a rush.
There's a whole area. His car's going through it first. That's
I mean, it's okay with me. Ronnie gets upset.
There's a whole New York thing where you can cut everybody else off, but nobody can cut you off.
Right.
It's only good when you're doing it.
It's the funniest thing I ever saw. People flipping the bird, they're yelling, they're screaming. It's unbelievable. It's like, I can't take it.
Well, I tell you, this guy, the police had to be called, everything. It was a very funny case. His poor daughter was in the car screaming, "My daddy's been killed."
Oh, really? And then I see these guys who now drive, and you want to give a ticket to someone. These guys now, they do 100 miles an hour on the Southern State Parkway. I see them.
Well, that's Stuttering John.
They do 100 miles an hour, and then they speed up. They speed up to the back of your car, and they begin to honk.
Looks like they come right over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them in your rearview mirror, you think you're going to die.
Yeah, you don't know if they see it.
And they speed up, and then they start honking. They're insane. Then they get mad, and they shift over to the right, and I don't know where they're going.
There's a whole big deal about everybody making it true that they're only 20 minutes from work.
Yeah. Everyone trying to prove that point.
When somebody comes flying up on you, like, don't you always hope that after he gets past you, you're going to go along and all of a sudden see him...
Yeah, get him in an accident. Yeah, and they never do.
Or at least the cops get them and give them an incredible fine.
No, the cops get me. That's who they find. I got to take a break. When we come back, I'll take a couple more calls, and we'll also talk about what we're going to be doing with the Zookeeper tomorrow. It's a big day on the show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll explain it all when we get back.
All right.
The Patakis give their thanks to Howard Stern.
We did it, Howard.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. That's embarrassing. Thank you. Please, I don't deserve any of the credit. What good does it do us that we know the governor?
It remains to be seen.
Well, I will be a commissioner.
We don't even know what that means.
My father called me last night. He says, "Hey, if you're really going January 1st to that inauguration, I'm going with you." I said, "Okay, you're up on the stage. Consider it done."
Oh, he's your date?
That's my date.
Your wife doesn't get to go?
I mean, she can go, but I don't think my wife's that interested. But she might want to be there. So I would take her, too. But my dad really wants to go.
Now you got your whole family up on the date.
I know, all of a sudden...
doesn't have any more room for his.
Yeah, can you imagine my whole family takes over like I just won the election? But my old man's really into politics.
Yes, he is.
So I'll take him. Hey, Jackie New Rave Joke Page Martling, that wild CD or cassette of yours is still on sale, or no? You've taken it off the market?
No, it's going hot for the holidays.
Oh, I see. Big holiday item. $10.
He's ready for the Christmas rush.
What a great stock. Imagine you wake up Christmas morning and you got a Jackie CD.
And that's it.
$10 plus free shipping and handling, and your holiday shopping is done. Holiday special. Buy two, get one free. Call 1-800-323-KING. This Saturday, a big show at the Acclaim Club Benet on Route 35 in Sayreville, New Jersey. For dirty jokes and info, call 516-922-WINE. Remember, 516-922-WINE is not a pay service. Okay, Jackie, very good. Congratulations. Congratulations on your career.
Hey.
It's exciting.
Hey.
You and David Peel have a CD out.
And
all right.
A catalog.
And a catalog.
Oh, jeez. Mario.
Okay.
I was singing that Mario Cuomo song yesterday.
Me too.
Goodbye, Mario Cuomo.
You know, I'm reading. I got so many things I want to talk about. Maybe I should talk about the Zookeeper here. Okay, I'll talk about that. I'll take one phone call and I'll talk about it. How's that? I did promise another phone call. Where do you want it from? New York, Miami, Orlando, Los Angeles, Baltimore, Cleveland, Buffalo, Vegas?
Have we talked to Vegas in a long time?
No. It's been ages. Las Vegas, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'd like to talk to Howard.
Yes, you're on the air.
Howard.
You're on the air. Lower your radio.
Okay, it's well.
How many times have you listened to the show and you hear some idiot on the phone and you go, what's wrong?
3,000 times.
Right, I know. And then there you are doing it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, Howard, I want to know one thing. Why is it here in Vegas? Your show starts here at 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, it goes back to the beginning of the show all over again.
All right. Well, listen, it's easy to figure out, isn't it? You really don't need me to explain it, do you?
Yes, I do.
You explain it to me. Take your best guess.
No, I can't.
No, come on, you have a guess.
When you're listening to William Shatner.
I know, but you must have a guess. What do you think happens? Take a guess.
They get stupid out here and they decide to play it all over again.
They're not stupid. They might be stupid out there, but that's not...
And they even play New York commercials.
All right. Why do you think that happens?
Well, because you're doing it live from New York right now.
That's right. Maybe sometimes there's an overlap, right?
Always an overlap.
Okay, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell? Why not get back even into a commercial with me talking, as opposed to listening to what? Nothing.
Yeah, some of this.
Right?
Well, you know what it is? I'm not used to this Vegas life yet.
I see.
You know, I just
now, why do you think I start at 3 o'clock in the morning in Vegas? Take a guess. Let's figure it out.
Because you're 3 hours behind you.
3 hours behind me.
That's right.
I see.
I'm a genius.
All right, wait, you're a very smart guy. So, okay, so we start at 3 in the morning in Vegas because it's 6 in the morning here.
That's right.
Oh, so that much you did figure out.
That much I did figure out.
All right, now
it's 6 in the morning.
Suddenly 6 o'clock in the morning starts. Why do you think we switch over now to repeating the show?
For all the idiots who are waking up just now.
You really do know the answer.
But I'm not used to this yet.
Wait a second. You know the answer, so you didn't need to call, did you?
Yes, I really...
All right. He's stupid, that's all. He has the answer, but he doesn't... He wants
doesn't
me.
know he has the answer.
Yeah. A lot of people have the answers, but they don't know they have the answer because they're not willing to take the time to sit down and think about the answer. Stupid answer.
Well, they just don't trust themselves. They don't know that they're right.
Maybe that was...
Very rarely, I suppose, are they?
I tell you, I must be the smartest guy on the planet, and I'm pretty stupid. He knew the answer. He's a wise guy, that guy. Wants me to waste my time. All right, let me tell you about tomorrow's show, because we're all excited about it. I'm going to forget that last call.
I actually think I may be able to wake up for that one.
You might actually pop out of bed. I've instructed the boys. I said, listen, don't leave me alone with that Zookeeper. What?
Do we expect the Zookeeper to arrive? Because I'm going to have to wait, I suppose.
Zookeeper will be sometime between
like Christmas.
Sometime between around 7:30, 8 o'clock Zookeeper time.
Yeah.
Okay? And let me tell everyone what's going on, because a lot of people don't even know about this.
It means a lot to us.
You know, when we were on the air here in New York, I used to beg this company to syndicate me. I said, you know, this show could be successful all over the country. Oh, no, it can't. Everyone, no, it can't. In fact, as far back as NBC, you remember, Robin, in fact, my last day on the air there, I was screaming they should syndicate me. They got that whole stupid network. Nobody even listens to it. Put me on it. I'll make you some money. Oh, we can't do that. It's impossible.
I think that's what got you fired, that suggestion.
Yeah. Actually, I threatened to quit over it. So I came here, and lo and behold, there's some free thinkers here. Sometimes the free thinkers have to be dragged kicking and screaming, but they... You shouldn't be on in Los Angeles, you shouldn't be on here, you shouldn't be on there. But they have theories. But somehow you bring them into it. Then, of course, after you bring them into it,
it's their idea.
It's not only their idea, they take it and they put every crackpot on their syndication list.
Your genius was diluted.
Yeah, but now everybody's benefiting from it. Everybody's making millions of dollars from it, except you know who.
How come you don't copyright these ideas somehow so you get money for them?
All I want to do is be left alone. I don't want to have my ass put through the ringer every time I get a new idea. I mean, at this point in my career, do I need that? Hey, I got a good idea. Let's syndicate. Let's see if some stations want... Oh, no! Roar! Contract. I don't want to hear it anymore. Just stop with the nonsense. I know more what I'm doing than anybody. I'm the greatest person in the world.
To you, anyway.
Hey, who else is here to challenge it?
Who else counts?
Exactly. Who else counts?
Just as long as we know the parameters.
Right. Ask George Pataki who the greatest person in the world is. He'll tell you. There's two guys who think the same way. Me and him.
Don't you have that on tape?
I suspect Al D'Amato feels the same way, but he can't give me a call. Yeah, you never know. Ask DeBella who's the greatest guy in the world.
Well, we will ask him tomorrow.
Oh, yes, we will.
Well, when we do that, we'll have to go over some old quotes where he might feel a little differently.
All right, so let me give the background, because there are people listening in Florida. They don't know what to expect.
They don't know the history.
Let me give you the history. So we go on in Philadelphia, and there's this guy on the air, this DeBella. His name is DeBella. And he's the king of Philadelphia. He's got like a 15 rating. Can you imagine a 15 rating?
This is an incredible number.
It's incredible. But it's Philadelphia. And he thinks...
And he has no competition.
Yeah, and let's face it, he's doing sort of a bad sort of zoo show, elements of my program. You know, all these guys who sort of do some kind of elements of my program, like Ron and Ron or something like that.
Let's just say there wasn't anybody talking in rock and roll before you.
Did you know that before you got there, when there was no competition at all, he had 20 consecutive rating books at #1. There was no one else.
Exactly. And not only that,
20 consecutive books.
And people in the industry were starting to talk about him being the next big thing. NBC was talking about TV, ABC,
he
CBS.
He had a little pilot.
He had a pilot going. I mean, this guy was... And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. What is going on in America? I'm sitting here. I got more talent in my pinky. Yeah. And they're talking to this guy? It really stuck in my craw. And not only that, he was arrogant. I mean arrogant. They would interview him on TV. Should I play a little?
Yeah, because you got to hear this voice. I mean, this is a guy who does a stupid radio show where he wears a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, and a duck costume.
Listen to what he sounds like.
A Hawaiian shirt. And he's pontificating about everything. You have to hear this. You have to hear this.
Everything is drawn out because it's so important because he's saying it.
A lot of important words.
Howard Stern. Man's ugly man. An ugly man. Like, how can anybody go through, like, I can't do anything about the hair falling out of my head, but he could do something about that nose. Oh!
What's the shtick? What does he do that you wouldn't do?
What he does, the difference is simply this.
Now, picture the setting, too. He is lecturing. They're in his backyard with birds.
Listen to those damn birds.
I would shoot every one of those birds. He's lecturing in his backyard, his palatial estate.
Yeah, which he doesn't have anymore.
Right, that's all God. We'll fill the audience in on all of that. We took everything from him.
Those birds are singing to somebody else now.
You do a show. He's an act. An act grows tired.
Offensive?
Offensive? Yeah. Not really.
Yeah, what's up?
Not really. He doesn't want to be considered a shock jock, and he doesn't do anything for his audience. What he does for the press.
Oh.
And the press has a tendency of buying it all.
Howard Stern will find his first defeat at the hands of John DeBella. I don't lose. Your quote.
I don't.
You really are that self-confident.
I'm that damn good.
What are the limits for somebody like you?
No limits.
The limits are...
gardening.
The audience is the limit. If you go too far, the audience lets you know. And they'll let you go too far.
That wasn't the question, you know.
No. He's not
He meant limits career-wise.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't even understand the question.
Right.
Says, where are you going in your career? What else can you do?
And he's saying, what are the limits? In DeBella things, what are the limits of the industry?
Or no, what are the limits of what you can do on the air?
Yeah.
He's still thinking about you.
All right. Every once in a while, you keep going too far, you become boring. You really do. After a while, it's like, oh, here he goes, going too far again, and there's no humor in it anymore.
So he was already obsessed with you.
Yeah, he's completely obsessed, and you could hear let me say...
I'm that damn good.
He's in Philadelphia, no offense. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of competition for him.
He has a great explanation in one of his interviews about why he doesn't want to work in New York.
Yeah.
That there's 128 jocks in New York, and he didn't want to just be one of 128.
Oh.
In Philly, he could be...
Yeah, he'd be one of 50, one of 20 bad ones.
I know things take a while to sink in, but it's just starting to hit me that he's actually going to be in this room.
It's going to be funny with that bald head.
You started saying about don't leave the room, and also, I don't think the reality of it struck me.
I think we should make him write loser on his bald head. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute, don't you want to do that while he's in here? We'll have
I'll pencil it in. Big L, like a big L, like the scarlet letter.
All the columnists are writing that they just cannot believe that he's coming in here.
Did you see some of the columns?
No.
Stu Bykowski wrote, he says, I thought the ultimate humiliation for John DeBella was when his wife was on Dial-A-Date.
Yeah.
He goes, I was wrong.
There was more humiliation in store.
She's going on Howard Stern's show to beg him for work.
Oh, man. This is all funny, but he's actually going to be sitting.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. Tomorrow's show will be the weirdest.
It's starting to get weird
It's going to be bizarre world.
Yeah.
Here.
I was uncomfortable a month and a half ago when we first talked about it.
When I made the predictions when we went in Philadelphia and I said, hey, Robin, this guy will lose his job, and he'll lose his wife, he'll lose his show, he'll lose his house.
That big house.
It's all going to be gone once we come to town. It's going to take some time, but we'll do it. We'll chop him down like an axe, with an axe into the feet. And I said, the only way that I will allow him to work again is if he comes to me and asks my permission That is the only way I will allow it. And if it meets with my approval, you know, if I like what he says, and if he has the proper attitude, then he can work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just go to the town where he goes, and I'll go up against him and beat him again.
But what were you thinking when you first said all those things?
I think I was BSing. I figured maybe I knew we'd beat him in the ratings. I didn't,
but you didn't think really. You thought maybe his wife would leave.
Yeah.
Because you had a suspicion that she came along with the accoutrements of power and money.
Listen, I'm on the radio. He's a very odd-looking guy.
You didn't think he'd alter his entire existence.
Yeah, right. But, I figured he got married after...
At the height of his success.
You know, he met a girl who was sort of into him because he was on the radio. Right. I knew that wouldn't last. So I figured, okay, the wife may leave him, you know, once he loses his ratings. But whoever knew?
You didn't know that things would come to this.
It's unbelievable.
His wife really... There was like a black
Tomorrow, this guy's got to come up here and ask my permission to work.
You know, as big a tragedy as O.J.
This is much bigger.
Yeah, just not more publicized.
This is just as bad.
Did we invite members of the press to come tomorrow?
Yes.
Who is coming?
A lot of people, a lot of a lot of television, all the Philadelphia press, because this is huge. This is probably, I would say that this is the biggest radio story in Philadelphia ever.
Ever.
The funeral, anyway.
No, right. And any other radio story that's bigger, we did.
Right.
So this is just the biggest.
This is the biggest. We were going to go down to Philly and do it all there. Thank God we didn't plan for Friday because I hear it's going to rain tomorrow.
Oh, well, you know, it always does that.
I know.
Every time we have an outdoor rally there.
No sunshine in Philadelphia. But this is a big story. Wait, let me see. Is anyone on the phone from Philadelphia? Let me... Hello? Hello?
Hello?
How incredible is it that the Zookeeper will be here tomorrow to ask my permission for work?
I think it's great.
It is great.
It is. I can't wait.
I think this is a fluke. I think it's an absolute fluke.
Was that a ratings?
Yeah. So here is I hung up on her. Here is she had nothing to say. Here is the first. Is this the first rating book when we hit number 1 or something?
I think so. Yes, that's when we went down for the first rating book that we were number 1.
Right. Now he's no longer a 15 rating. He's now behind us in the ratings.
Yeah.
We're at, I don't know, an 11 or a 12, and he's at maybe an 8 or something.
Yeah.
We've been number 1 for 5 years. This is the first down book we have ever had in 7 years. And, oh, my God, let's have a party. Come on, let's be serious here.
And then, of course, here he is announcing he's leaving radio.
No, this is that same interview where you'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you had this shot in Crime Story. Somebody offers you front side of the camera, Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, they're asking about his career.
Right.
Yeah. He was on an episode of Crime Story where it was rigged. Crime Story was such a bad television show.
Yeah, you know it's not on anymore.
That they got 4 disc jockeys. I got called for it, too. They asked disc jockeys to do a scene in Crime Story. He flew a plane. He then said, oh, my God, this acting, I'm really good at it. I am going to now become an actor.
Yeah, they're looking for me in Hollywood.
Yeah, they're still looking for him.
But he had no idea that they used him. In other words, they used him so that he would talk about it and someone would watch the show. He had no idea.
And I don't know, in Philly, the reporter's like, wow, now you're an actor.
You have this shot.
No.
Well, here he discusses that pretty soon he's going to sign his last radio contract. Unfortunately, he didn't know it wasn't going to be his choice.
Right.
Radio? For one line, no. For major part, possibly.
Pot. He's got to get rid of that New York accent.
Major pot.
From Long Island, yeah.
Yeah. A major pot. Major pot.
For a major pot.
For a major pot, I would go. Possibly. Possibly I'd leave radio for a major pot. I'm culling that over. Major pot. Meanwhile, the guy has no acting credential whatsoever. Doesn't act at all.
Nobody's ever.
Yeah, such a pompous guy.
For a role.
He acted like 10 years like you didn't bother him.
Yeah, right.
For one line, no.
One line, no.
For a major part, possibly.
I will probably sign one more radio contract, but that will be my last radio contract.
Yeah, you were right.
It's time to move on. It's time to do more things. There's a lot of stuff to do in this world.
My God.
Whether it is network television, whether it's local TV or something like that, when I have to find something.
What's he going to do?
He's done nothing.
The day's going to come where I'm not going to want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You know what he's got to do? He's got to come here and ask me permission to go back on radio.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to do.
There's too many things to do. I don't know why he wants to come back to radio.
Because there's nothing to do.
Make him bring his rake.
Yeah.
Give us gardening tips.
I bet you were a disc jockey in Philadelphia. I mean, where is Hollywood going to hire you?
Where did he think he was going even then? That was so ridiculous.
He got delusional. Because NBC, they said get a disc jockey from each major city, let one of those dopes on there for 2 seconds before he could screw things up, and he'll get his audience to tune in.
But then Group W gave him that whole pilot thing where they were going to do 4, and the first one was so bad they never did it anymore.
Well, I guess people thought he could do something. I don't know. Before we were there was nothing going on.
Remember, his entire staff was in suits. They looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so poorly executed.
But John DeBella does need to perform.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have an audience.
I've got to have an audience. I enjoy it, and I'm good at it. So, you know, if God gave me this gift...
If God gave me this gift...
Those are the kind of words that come back to haunt you. If God gave me this gift.
If God gave me this gift... Gift what? To play records?
Oh, I just hurt myself. I hit myself so hard.
Yep.
Somebody, you hit yourself again.
Now his audience is like worms.
What am I going to do? What else am I going to do? Sell stuffed animals at a gas station? And again, there's always Velvet Elvis.
What's he talking about?
I didn't get that part of it.
Yeah. Then again, there's always Velvet Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to love him asking me permission tomorrow. It's going to be a beauty of a show.
He must have changed over the course of how many years.
If he isn't humbled, I'm not letting him work.
Now, funny you mentioned that, Robin, because I have an interview sitting in front of me right after our second rally that we did in Philly.
Yeah.
And nothing changed.
Oh.
Nothing changed. That's after we'd been number 1 for, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah?
He said that Howard is a piss-poor excuse for a broadcaster. He's mad at you because, Howard, they said, that you ruined...
But if I'm piss-poor... And I'm beating his ass.
What is he?
Then what is he?
Wait a second.
Worse than that.
You know what you did to him, though?
What?
You ruined the medium that he loved. You put a black spot on it.
He sounds like Tom Snyder. Tom Snyder's another guy who goes around saying, I ruined the medium he loved. Tom Snyder's about to go on CBS after Late Night with David Letterman.
Yes.
The only reason he has the job is because Letterman is very insecure. You know, it's funny. On the E! Channel, I watch when we come on after Letterman. On the E! Channel, they run the old Letterman shows, and then we come on.
Right.
It's exciting when we come on. So Letterman goes out and finds the biggest bore on 2 feet, Tom Snyder. This guy is unwatchable. He is unwatchable. Do you understand unwatchable? I'm saying if you go in with the attitude like I do, I say, I am going to force myself to watch Tom Snyder tonight.
I'm putting the remote control across the room.
Right.
I can't get to it.
So it's the only channel. I'm going to smash my TV. So the only channel that comes in is Tom Snyder. You have to turn it off.
I am telling you,
I have tuned in where there's an actual interesting guest sitting there, and I turned the guy off, and I said, I'm going to watch this. That's how bad Tom Snyder is. That's what a bore he is. He couldn't get an audience on radio. He had a marginal audience his first time around in television, and it will be worse this time.
So you're saying he won't beat Conan?
Well, listen, Conan's got his problems. I'll tell you something. Those two are going to actually have a duel for mediocrity. No, Jessica Hunt infomercial will win. Listen, I've been in a room with actual dogs when Tom Snyder's on, and they pull the plug with their teeth. I swear to God. I'm telling you that this guy is a loser. Conan is a loser, too. And did you see these articles on Greg Kinnear? That's another stiff they hired. I love network television.
Did you see that Greg Kinnear got a part in a movie that Tom Cruise turned down?
Stop it.
He got a part in a movie. Let me tell you something. He's better off reading from a script. That guy has no ability to communicate. They gave him a test that said in the paper, listen to this, Greg Kinnear, the rumor mill is still grinding about Greg Kinnear replacing Conan O'Brien, but it ain't going to happen. This is from page 6. Of course it's not going to happen. What do you think? You think Warren Littlefield's a jerk? Kinnear parlayed talk soup on E, which was perfect for him because he sits there and he plays clips of other people's talk shows.
Yeah, well, they're being interesting.
Yeah, the other people are interesting, and he sits there like a puppet head and introduces it. That was the greatest job for this guy. He had reached the height of his career.
He had a good thing going there.
NBC ruined him. They hired him. Kinnear parlayed talk soup into E, becoming the replacement for Bob Costas on the NBC Late Night Talk Show later. And it is true NBC was thinking of bigger and better things for Kinnear, starting with a one-hour show on Friday nights. We hear the network recently taped a pilot show to see whether it would fly. It didn't. He couldn't get laughs. He couldn't cut the mustard. Of course not. The guy's not a broadcaster. I don't know what he is. He's nothing.
A pretty boy.
Oh, Conan and Tom Snyder, the two of them, between the two of them, they will attract a 2 rating. They will split the 2. Each one will have a 1.
Okay, together they'll have a...
And the 40 million people who watch Leno and Letterman will be gone. They will be asleep. They will not tune in to Conan or Tom Snyder. They should give Bernadette Castro a show. She'd do better. At least she could jump up and down on a couch like she did when she was 5 years old for her daddy. That was her claim to fame. Now she wants to run for Senate. Imagine that. Bernadette Castro, piece of garbage. You know what she did? Her father invented a couch. So her father, I guess, loved her.
Well, of course it was his little girl.
Who knows if he loved her?
He didn't know how she was going to grow up.
He puts her on camera and tells her to jump up and down on a couch in some of the worst commercials ever made.
Oh, yeah, you could hardly see her, quite frankly.
Yeah. To me, it looked like kiddie porn. Watching a little girl jump up and down on a couch. I would stare at the lint in my rug and know that it had more talent than Bernadette Castro. So from jumping up and down on a couch, she somehow became a big expert. Her father died, I guess, left her all the money. And now she's an expert on everything. She became a genius from jumping up and down on a couch.
She's a woman desperate for credibility.
Yeah. She's going to be vindicated. I'm more than just a Castro, my daddy. I'm more than that. I'm smart on my own.
I'm going to go out and do something on my own, damn it, get my own title.
Yeah, you should say I run I have a lot of money and I run it. I take care of all my money. No, you have an accountant who takes care of your money, and it's your father's money, not yours. I think that jumping up and down on the couch got your brain loose. You forget who you are. You're not qualified to run the Senate or sit in judgment of laws and bills. You're nothing. Your father invented a couch. You mean if my father invents a couch, I could be the Pope? Maybe they'll make me the Pope. You think when your father invents a couch, suddenly you're going to become something. I should be something. I don't understand.
I'm so smart.
I'm Bernadette Castro.
Money.
Yeah, I should be the senator.
I have such good taste.
I don't understand what happened.
I picked the fabrics. Come on.
Yeah. You should sit home. You should get a hobby like drinking. Sit home and drink. That's what I would do if I had money. I would get a big bottle of scotch and sit there and sip it while I counted my father's money. All right, we got to get back to DeBella. That's the point. Let's take a break, come back, regroup, and you'll read to me more of what DeBella had to say. And then I will play you more DeBella stuff, and then we'll figure out what we're going to
do tomorrow.
He's going to walk in, and what's going to happen? That's what we're going to address next.
I'm glad I don't have to sit in there during commercials.
This will be the first show.
All of our commercials.
This will be the first show where you have to sit in this room, or else I will not do the show.
The next governor of New York, George Pataki, gives thanks to the next commissioner of traffic, Howard Stern.
Thank you.
You did get the word out, and it was just great, Howard, and I got to thank you.
Hey, when will the ceremony be for me to become commissioner?
Oh, I don't know how they do that.
Because my father didn't believe you. Because you really think you're going to be a commissioner? I go, of course.
They could do it on the same day, January 1st.
He could swear me in that day. Could be a double swearing. Double ceremony. Where's Fafafolio? We're talking about DeBella, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow it's the big DeBella show, in case you're just tuning in.
Well, you were about to tell people the history, and I think we got sidetracked. We get so into these quotes.
So then we go on in Philadelphia. Well, where was I?
You basically said he had a 15, and there we were coming into town, and here was this pompous guy who said he couldn't be beat.
And all the press said, hey, Howard Stern's an outsider. He's from New York. He can't be beat, blah, 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 blah. Everyone, obviously everyone was wrong because we went to number one.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did he lose his ratings, But he went so far down at one point that they teamed him up with a sports guy.
Right. They changed his show completely.
Sports Rock.
Sports Rock. And he went so far low in the ratings that eventually he was gone.
Yeah, they didn't renew his contract.
Now, he's the guy.
His wife left him.
Big, messy divorce.
Big, messy divorce.
Then there was the pay
Unfortunately, she committed suicide. And his wife, before she committed suicide, came in here and played Dial-A-Date. Went out on a date with one of our listeners, Captain Jenks.
Yes, she called into this show, the arch enemy of her ex-husband.
Then there was the pay cut, the afternoon pay cut.
Yeah, he had to take a pay cut.
From like $450,000 to $100,000. And then there was the exit.
And in fact, at one point during the time that we were competing with him early on, they came to him. This company came to him. Unbeknownst to me, I was totally against it when I heard it. I was shocked. They went to him and said, "We'll hire you to be the afternoon guy. So Howard will have the morning free." I said, "What are you doing now? We're going to kick this guy's ass. You don't have to pay him all this money." And he turned down the offer.
Right, because he knew he couldn't be beat.
He knew he was not going to be beat by me.
And you know what else? When you talk about when we first got to Philly, he is really the guy that originated the rap that we've heard in every other market that we went into, which is Howard doesn't know the names of the streets.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the football team. He doesn't know the name of the mayor.
He doesn't really care about you. He lives in New York.
Yeah, right. Like he cared about that.
Yeah, like he wouldn't leave the moment somebody offered him more money.
So as soon as he lost in the ratings, the first time we ran down to Philly, we had a big outdoor, I think they said the crowd was somewhere around 20,000 people showed up in Tiananmen Square there in Philadelphia. What was the name of that square?
I think it was an R.
Yeah, some square.
See, we don't know the names.
We don't, and it hasn't bothered us.
But we love Philadelphia.
Rittenhouse Square. And we went down there and had a big funeral for him and buried him in a casket. Scott the engineer dressed up as DeBella.
Yeah, we put a mustache on him and a Hawaiian shirt and laid him in a coffin.
And while this was going on, we did it right outside his window, and he had to know it was out there, and everyone in his building knew it was out there. It was really fascinating. The reporters came up and they asked him about it, and he said,
"It's like, oh my God, they're burying DeBella. I'm not dead, folks. I'm not dead.
I'm not dead."
But didn't we hear stories about the orders that were in the going on in the office that nobody was to mention this rally?
Yeah,
to
it was great. It was great.
The curtains were drawn.
We got to ask him all about this tomorrow.
Don't look out.
And then, of course, we stood outside the window, and the listeners sang songs about him because of his bald head, like this.
There's a little bald man with a head that looks like a pumpkin.
Shiny head, pumpkin.
He's on the radio in Philadelphia, and he's slumping.
Radios are slumping.
He's down in front of Stern, and it looks like he's choking on something.
Choking on something.
Isn't that great? And then, of course, there was Balding Little Dickhead.
Oh, yeah.
He was a famous morning man in Philadelphia, till Howard Stern and Robin blew his butt away. He lost his ratings and his wife. He lost the house and the car. He'll have to get a new life. He's in the toilet now, right where he ought to be. He's the balding little dickhead with a capital D.
Now, while we're out there singing and carrying on like this, people tell us that our rally is coming out over his airwaves.
Yeah,
that's how loud it was.
Making so much noise.
Like in the background as he's talking, you know, WMMR. Blah, blah. You can hear in the background the song's about Balding Little Dickhead. Yeah, we're here, and there's nothing unusual going on in Philadelphia today.
You know, what do you do on a day when you know that nobody's listening to you?
Right. It was literally one of those days because it was a very big event, us coming to Philadelphia. Yeah. And I mean, the songs were relentless, quite frankly. Songs like "You Will Soon Be Fired" by the Nuclear Fish.
Goofy-looking chrome dome, lost wife, lost home, living in a hotel, job that's on the line. Dim-witted douche do that make me gag, no talent loser, you should resign. Married to a listener, doesn't need conditioner, can renew your contract, wife has all your bags packed, your career is nowhere, it has vanished like your hair, bet your wife takes off her blouse when Howard broadcasts from your house. Fired with a 0 rating. waiting and a wife that's dating. You should be retired.
It was a great song. And quite frankly, that wasn't even the best one. The one that everyone decided was the winner.
You know, these things sound so mean now.
Yes.
And at the time, they were kind of cute.
Yeah, they were fun. I mean, they were endless. But you remember the group Ethos did Baldy's Head Looks Like the Moon? Do you remember that one?
I forgot all about that one.
Brilliant song.
Baldy's wife is up and left, and Baldy's head looks like the moon. She dumped his sorry, worthless ass, and Baldy's head looks like the moon. Now he can't pay no mortgage bills, because Baldy's head looks like the moon. 10 years from now, he'll be paying still, and Baldy's head looks like the moon.
See? And it was relentless. It was relentless.
We went on and on.
We even wrote a song called Baldy Baldy. It was wild. To the tune Louie Louie.
Right, we always used to sing this at the end of the rallies.
Well, as a matter of fact, we chose the tune Louie Louie because he had created a Louie Louie parade in Philadelphia.
Yes.
That was real boring.
That was one of his
anthem. This was his anthem.
Yeah.
So we took his anthem and we did this.
And that was one of the first things we ruined, his Louie Louie parade.
Yeah.
There's a great...
started the Baldy Baldy.
Because people used to scream out my name at his parade and hold up signs.
There's a great piece of videotape we have laying around somewhere where he's riding in a Corvette or something in the Louie Louie parade, and he's waving, and a whole bunch of people start holding. Remember we had signs made?
Yeah.
Howard forever, Baldy never.
Right.
And he goes down that block, and you just see him going down, flipping the bird to the whole street.
Baldy, Baldy. Whoa, hey, you really blow. I kiss my black ass. Baldy, Baldy. Whoa, the zoo gotta go. Morning, Drew.
It must really suck when you show up for work, 'cause everyone in Philly knows that you are a jerk. Listeners with brains say that you got no class. Maybe it's because your head looks exactly like your ass.
Wasn't that great? And then finally, oh, wait, I got to interrupt. We got a phone call.
What?
Senator D'Amato on the phone.
Oh, he wants to call in about development?
He can't wait for the show tomorrow to hear develop. Senator, did you hear who's coming on the show tomorrow?
Listen, Commissioner, how are you?
Ah, there you go.
Now, if I have any problems, I know who to call when I hit traffic jams.
We'll report it to me.
Calling you.
Hey, you're not too shabby yourself. I understand that you will be the head of the banking something or other?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm giving out Christmas presents, and I think we need a swimming pool in your backyard.
Let me tell you something. What did I tell you? Remember when we spoke 2 months ago?
Yep.
And I said to you, I'm for Pataki, but I am not going to really make I'm just going to wait till about 3 days before the actual election to really lay it on thick. I waited till George was 20 points below.
That's right.
20 points.
You did not support him when he was up.
That's right. I laid back. Because you want to know something? Support doesn't mean anything until 3 days before the election.
Anybody can jump
you
on
really
it.
started, I think you
2 weeks. I started 2 weeks.
On about 2 weeks when he was at his all-time low and started talking to him, and I think developing his character. In other words, allowing him to speak and go back and forth. And Libby, I know you're after Libby.
Beautiful.
Leave her alone.
Beautiful. Wait till I'm there standing.
5'10", beautiful.
Beautiful.
The great senator was about to make a move, and then you stepped.
That's right. I have all my hair. Senator D'Amato, very jealous of that.
What a blow.
How happy are you? How happy are you?
It is terrific.
Do you love that?
Yeah, I do.
Of course. Listen.
And let me tell you something. Let people know.
You don't have to say it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Made the difference.
Of course. At least you understand it.
You gave hundreds of thousands of people an opportunity to see and hear George unfiltered. I mean, you don't hear the candidate on a 30-second soundbite or the newsmen saying, and today they charged Pataki with this, and this was his answer. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I mean...
I was surprised I didn't hear from you yesterday.
Well, you know what? I was recovering.
Oh.
I mean,
listen.
I didn't get home until 5 in the morning, and then I was up at 6 and walking around in a daze. And
first of all, I thought it was smart that you didn't call in because I said, he's smart. He's laying back, because everyone's accusing Senator D'Amato of pulling the strings from George Pataki.
He's the governor behind the scenes.
Can you imagine how stupid that is? In other words, what politician do you know doesn't have other politicians either on his team or not. I mean,
but if D'Amato wanted to be governor, he could run for governor.
Right.
Well, if I wanted the nomination, that's right.
You wanted to back a guy you believed in.
That's exactly.
That's it.
And, you know, when I didn't, they all yelled at me and they said, oh, 4 years earlier, look at this, we got Pierre Renfray.
Yeah.
And D'Amato should have taken a leadership position. So when you do step in,
then they criticize
and you work to keep the conservatives and the Republicans from running different candidates, otherwise you split up the vote, then they call you the boss.
Yeah.
So,
well, who cares?
Hey, you know, I do have to ask one question, though.
Yep.
How did they get the picture of the two of you holding hands?
Yep, we are going.
You want to know something? There's a picture of me and Senator D'Amato the same way.
Really?
Senator D'Amato, I went to a fundraiser that he asked me to go to.
Uh-huh.
He grabs you, he hugs you like a woman and a man hug.
Be careful.
I didn't want to say Senator D'Amato is part gay. I didn't want to say it. He never wanted to admit it on the air. Is it true or not?
It's true for gay rights.
Yeah, he's into
I get
gay
in a lot
rights.
of trouble with the conservatives.
Right. He is as gay as they come. No, let me tell you something. He's not gay. Believe me, I know.
But he likes to hold hands with other men.
He is one of these guys, and this is why I think people like him. You walk in, and even if you're nobody, he grabs you around and starts introducing you.
He's a kind of person. He likes to touch.
So somebody's a wise guy. They get a picture of that, and right away he's dragging him around.
We're in a crowded ballroom trying to make our way through.
None of it mattered. You understand that none of it mattered. People wanted to, they're sick of the tax. They wanted to change.
Yep.
And you know what? I feel good in one aspect. Mm-hmm. On my show, I was able to take Pataki and say to the undecided voter, the person who didn't even want Cuomo, who was then going to go vote for them. That's why he was 20 points below. I was able to say, what are you afraid of with this guy?
Mm-hmm. You were able to humanize him.
Humanize him.
Take a look at him. A real person. Listen to him. Does he have the ability to josh, to come back and forth?
You found a guy who, first of all, was intelligent.
Yes.
He is a guy who had an education. He was.
You know what? We've been saying all this stuff about George all along. That his father was a postal worker, his mother was a waitress. He won a scholarship to Yale.
Right.
And now I hear everybody else saying it.
Of course, now they're saying it. People did not say it. They did not. They could not
tell you who he was.
I used to get on the air. Now you'll hear everyone take credit for it. But I'm going to tell you something. I used to get on the air and I'd say, "What are you afraid of?" I said, "The guy is a bright guy." I said, "What do you think? Government's going to fall apart if he gets in there?" I said, "The guy's going to try and cut the taxes. You vote in Cuomo. Don't complain to me the next day that, well, gee, my taxes are too high. If you vote for Cuomo, you have no right to complain."
Well, I said to people, if you want to continue the same thing that's been taking place over the last 12 years, then it's your fault.
See, but everyone thought you were saying it because you had some agenda. Wait,
I did. I had an agenda.
Yeah.
Really, to try to reverse the decline of this state.
Yeah, but they thought that it was like so you could control this guy. So I don't know. People are insane.
Oh, well, that's Rudy Giuliani and company. Talk about control. You have the police officers tearing down the signs of your opponents, and then you get angry about it. If you're going to tear down signs, tear down everybody's. The next day, up goes the Cuomo signs.
Well,
that's
listen.
Incredible.
So what are you going to
live in a police state?
So what are you going to do with Giuliani? You're going to
ignore him and do whatever I have to do on behalf of the people in the state. Whatever. Listen, that was politics. I'm not going to allow him and his dark side to dominate what I have to do.
The dark side. You're right.
You don't think there is?
Giuliani's a vampire.
Worse.
Listen, I'll tell you something.
Your office in the manner in which he did, both as a federal prosecutor and have innocent people hauled out in chains in front of television cameras, so that you can look good, or so photographers can take their pictures.
Oh, you're really on fire.
I mean, when my brother
is
prosecuted and persecuted. He didn't commit.
He was cleared of everything.
Yeah, the court said they couldn't even maintain a civil case.
But how long did it take? You said
5 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars later, and just 5 years of anguish for my mom and dad and the whole family. That's not right.
So now you have vindication.
Giuliani and his prosecutor.
Now you have vindication.
Yeah, well, but who gives you back in?
Hey, listen, you don't need me to tell you this, but you did all the right things. Now you're sitting on top.
I feel good.
That's it. You should feel good.
It's like the trifecta, right?
You hit the trifecta.
Yeah, we really did.
It's a good day.
But let me say this to you. You're one stand-up person.
That's
Howard
right.
Stern
Thank you.
is not afraid to stand up for the little guy.
You're right.
George Pataki was the little guy, the guy who they called him an empty suit and whatnot. You gave him a chance to be heard.
That's right.
And that's what it's about. And
kiss me, Al.
Oh, take my hand.
Take my hand and lead me around.
Maybe. Call me Al.
You take my.
Hey, by the way, would you play that song for
I'm gonna
me?
play. Yeah, I'm gonna play "Call Me Al." You don't care.
No,
you
I
love that.
song.
You love that.
It's gonna be my new theme song.
So, boy, he's sitting on top of the world right now.
Al.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna be dating us up a storm now. Let me tell you something. There isn't going to be a woman who's going to resist.
No.
You understand? What do you mean, stop that?
Mama the model's listening.
Oh, never mind, Mama. Hey, listen, you have to arrange for a meeting between me and Libby.
Well, you coming up when he...
Yeah, I will be up there January 1. I will be standing there.
I don't think it's the 1st. I
No, it isn't?
Well, I'll be there January 1, just in case.
The 4th or 5th.
Oh, it is?
Generally a few days after the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what will be the arrangement on stage? I will take a prominent position on stage?
You're going to be on the other side of Libby.
That's right.
Right. And
I'm mauling her as
you're going to be sworn in as the commissioner
I will be
highways for Long Island.
Yes, I am really going to be the commissioner.
For Long Island?
No, for all of New York State.
Oh, all of New York State.
Yeah, because I'll spot traffic and call it into the governor.
Uh-huh.
That's my little role.
That's right.
Listen, between you and me, I won't even do anything. I just want to be a commissioner.
But what happens when the roads don't get better?
Right, Libby. All right, congratulations, and thank God that I stepped in and took over.
Absolutely right.
Right?
Thank God you didn't continue to run on that other party.
No, listen, Pataki's a good man. He deserved to win. He deserved to win. I'm glad I didn't run for governor because it would have taken votes away from the guy. I'm glad
you would have got more than Galisano.
I sure would have.
I think you would have won.
And that little midget.
Well, I'm trying to be a little. All I want to be is a commissioner right now. I'm out of the political arena for now. I might return.
You might return.
But listen, it's congratulations.
But Howard,
you
Robin,
won.
It's good being back, and now that the election is over, I can call once in a while.
And and just remember, he had to lay low. You did it smart. You had to lay low.
Yeah.
But listen, remember who came on board 20 points below.
Absolutely.
Not that freak Imus. He never endorsed anybody.
He wasn't bad to George.
Yeah, great. He was wonderful. He really
wasn't bad.
Yeah, he did a great job for you. Yeah, he really came out. He spoke to three people. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I'm not a pussy. I'm not afraid to take a stand.
That's right.
I put my ass on the line, too. Let me tell you something. You think Cuomo would have been thrilled with me?
No. He would have been trying to get your advertisers off just like Lautenberg did
right.
to Bob Grant.
That's right.
Can you imagine the abuse? I mean, think about this now. Whole different, Bob Grant, his format, etc. When we start to use political power to censor people, I don't care who it is, whether it's Imus, whether it's Grant,
all right if it's
Howard
Imus.
Stern, that is an abuse of power. That's nonsense. And
of course, you're absolutely right. You see, your head is on your shoulders. A lot of these guys their head is floating somewhere into the sky.
The job and the power, the so-called power, goes to their head.
Power goes to their head.
Yeah.
But,
yes, because when you say that George Pataki would come on the air and be human, Mario Cuomo, on the other hand, sat back and, did the royal Mario thing.
Let me tell you something.
That's why he's sitting home today.
Let me tell you something, Senator.
Mm-hmm.
This Mario Cuomo was so arrogant that he couldn't even get the budget in on time. Do you understand? That's arrogance.
Well, he didn't pass one in many, many years. I guess 10, 11 years.
That's arrogance. Yeah. And you know what? He's sitting there like he's running a fiefdom.
Well,
and I'll tell you another thing. I'm going to give you a little secret.
What I predict? I predict we're going to find out that there's a huge deficit that they hid.
Right.
And he ran around, gave out all this money, the people's money, right before the election, and in these grants all over the state. And then I'll bet you're going to find, instead of there being, the usual gap, $400 or $500 million, maybe $4 or $5 billion deficit.
And let me tell you something. I was aware. You didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
This Cuomo, the entire time I'm in New York, wouldn't once come on my show like I'm some kind of dirtbag. Listen to this. So a lot of people listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
He could have come on. He didn't come on. He's sitting there in the ivory tower, and behind my back, in the press he was saying the right thing, but behind my back he's busy. And my book ended up somehow near the governor's mansion. He says, "Get it out of here." I mean, listen, let me tell you something.
He had the police come and remove it?
Yeah, I think he had the police remove it. So
I believe it.
Let me tell you something. I had it in for this guy. So I say goodbye. And I see today in the paper they're going to make him maybe a baseball commissioner. That'll be good for him. He'll be able to make speeches. I said, that's some great orator. He won't even get up and debate.
Well, he made the speeches. He made $200,000-$300,000 a year.
And this Cuomo used to go on Imus's show the whole time. And let me tell you something. I don't care if the guy goes on that show.
Of course.
But don't turn me down. What am I, dirt?
Let me tell you something.
What am I, some kind of scuzzball?
When you're successful, people become very envious. You got to know that.
Hey, let me ask you something.
And you have become successful.
Exactly.
And when
envy.
You write your book, people go nuts.
Right.
Because where do 5,000 people show up at a book signing?
That's right.
So you got a lot of little people who say, "Who the hell is that guy? Look at him."
And let me tell you something else.
Than him.
No, let me tell you something else. You know of a lot of jobs out there. Make Cuomo a librarian somewhere. See if is there a library job open somewhere where
he likes to read.
He likes to read.
He is a bright guy.
Yeah. Is there a library job?
He just lost it as governor.
He lost it. That's exactly. You know what? You know what? And we did him a favor.
People said, they said enough is enough.
Yeah. And you know what?
They didn't give a darn about the slick ads and the nonsense. At the end, they said we want to change.
Hey, I'm going to tell you one other thing. I have proven one thing. I got some power here in this radio station to make people winners or losers. And I got news for you. The reason I backed Pataki when he was 20 points down, the real reason, aside from the fact that I liked him and I believed in him and I liked what he had to say, this Clinton, who I have been backing.
Oh, my God.
Listen to me. Just listen to me.
Yeah.
If he thinks, he's screaming that all these radio hosts are against him. I'm on there screaming for him. If he don't get rid of this FCC problem already, this nonsense, this joke, this farce. Do you know that Sally Jesse Raphael was using the T word for breast the other day on her show 5 times? And you're going to find me. You should have tuned in. You're going to find me. So if he doesn't clean up this problem, wait and see what I do. Wait till you see the number I do on him.
Well,
Get ready.
Howard, let me tell you where your power is. The power is that you give people a chance to hear different sides and to think and see they really make up their mind. You just provide that opportunity.
Provide information.
You see? And that's the greatness. That's the greatness.
That's what's great about me.
I just worry about who the Republicans are going to run against Bill Clinton next time. If it's Dan Quayle.
I'll tell you who they're running. Senator Al D'Amato. We're preparing for a big one.
I think you have a whole host of people. We're not going to get into that now. We're going to have a lot of fun.
All right.
Next time I see you, let's do something wild. Next time we get together? Let's get into towels. Let's get into towels and rub each other down.
Can I drive up to Albany with you, Commissioner?
Yes, you can. I'd be honored.
When we go to the inaugural?
You and I will go up together.
Okay.
So we can discuss the political arena and how the presidential waters feel.
No. So we can discuss when your next poker game is that you haven't invited me to.
Well, it's funny you bring that up.
Yep.
Why aren't you playing poker with Senator Al?
Senator Al's coming to the next one. I don't want to clean him out. Dominic's going to deal him 4 aces. Let me tell you something.
Now, you're supposed to...
You want to know why I don't play with Senator Al?
Why?
Man cheats at cards. Everyone knows it.
He's notorious.
He's notorious. He cheats at cards.
I make up the games as we go along.
Yeah, he plays these games I never heard of.
Rules change in mid-hand.
We'll make a whole day of it. We'll go up to the inauguration. Before we go to the inauguration, we'll stop off at Scores. We'll have a little have a caucus. I got a whole thing planned for a big inauguration day. Anyway, listen, I would love to go up there with you.
Terrific.
All right. Congratulations, Senator.
Robin.
Yes?
Take care of yourself.
I try.
Keep him on the straight and narrow.
I will.
Howard?
Yes?
Give my love at home.
Exactly.
Okay, big guy.
Thank you, Senator.
Take care.
The great Senator Al D'Amato, next president of the United States. There you go.
Oh, we're gonna know a president?
Who the hell knows? But that was the call I was waiting for.
Well, now you got it. How did that happen?
How did that happen? Senator just called?
I might have called him.
Oh, you called him. Oh, I thought he called. You shouldn't have called him.
Well, I wanted it to happen.
No, I was waiting for him to call me. I mean, I had to call him to get him to thank me for... Jesus
we had
Christ.
to call for our thank you. That's pretty funny.
You should have lied to the people at home.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do.
We called him.
We called him? You mean that call? I thought he just called in.
No, I mean, he genuinely thanks you. I just had to remind him.
Is Gary applying for some kind of public relations job?
I don't know. He's worried my feelings were hurt. Well, bye-bye, boner. You had to call him and say you should call in?
No, I called his assistant. And said, all I did was I called his assistant and said, hey, we haven't heard from Al. And she said, oh, okay, I'll have him call you.
Didn't ruin the whole thing.
Boy, that certainly ruined it. Wow.
He's a spin doctor, that Gary.
I'm going to spin him right out the room. What'd you do that for? I didn't tell you to get Al D'Amato to call in.
Oh. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. I just thought it would be good for the show.
It wasn't that good. It would have been better if he called on his own.
If he had called, it would have been nice.
Am I right?
But for him to have been solicited to call.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I made a decision, Wolf.
Well, Wolf, I made a call, and that's why I decided to call.
Why you have to be so honest? At least lie to the audience and say he called in on his own. Who are you, George Washington? He's honest like George Washington. He has big wooden teeth like George Washington. Now, I know your heart's in the right place, but I would like to see how long it took him to call me. See?
All right.
I had no idea.
Gary ruins another experiment.
Oh, yeah.
There's something else you ruined. I was in the middle of DeBella anyway.
I tainted it.
It wasn't like I didn't have anything to do. Where was I?
Well, we have to decide. One of the things we have to decide for tomorrow, we have a lot of press coming in. And we have to decide, are you going to hold a press conference in here, or do we need a bigger area?
See, I think there should be photo opportunities.
All right, let me tell you.
Bella standing together.
Let me tell you how it's going to go tomorrow when we get back.
Grateful Governor-elect George Pataki gives his thanks to Howard Stern.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I thank you for your help.
No problem, Governor. No problem. Hey, if we don't toot our own horn, who will? I seen the paper today. They don't give me any credit.
No mention.
No mention. They give me mentions, but they make up stuff.
Yeah, but it's all that silly stuff.
Yeah.
They don't tell that you swung in an election.
Right. Hey, come on. So let's wrap up this DeBella thing. It's going to happen tomorrow.
Wearing?
What are we wearing?
Are you going to wear anything strange? Or
should I wear robes, Robin?
Well, I was thinking of the Avenging Angel. You know, you should be like Gabriel or something.
Oh, I thought you were going to be the Avenging Angel.
Well, I thought you should be the angel.
I have to dress like an angel?
I want you with big wings and, you know, those white robes with a halo over your head.
So does that mean after the press takes my pictures, there'll be more goofy pictures of me circulating? Like instead of looking cool, I'll just be...
Right, you'll be a bit of winged costume.
My favorite one of you has to be the one from the second rally we did. We were dressed as a conqueror with a big brush on your head.
Yes.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. You know, I'm thinking maybe I should go with, like, that little white mini skirt.
Mini skirt.
You know, like you're saying, with a little sash, open top.
But don't you remember...
With sandals and the big wings. Big Icarus.
Yes.
Giant wings.
Well, the point of you getting dressed up as something, obviously, is so we can dress him as something. You know what I mean?
Well, we've never met this guy, but... I'm hoping for the Hawaiian shirt look.
And the hat.
Why wouldn't he come? He's asking for a job as a disc jockey. Why wouldn't he come dressed as one?
As a disc jockey.
To come dressed in the garb that made him famous.
That's
right.
The duck suit and everything.
So if I'm... I like... Where's Ralph, my costumer? Where is he?
Oh, Ralph?
Oh, boy.
Sometimes he leaves by now. Actually.
Oh, does he?
Yes. But I doubt it.
Yes, I'm here.
Not here when you want him.
Yes.
Usually he leaves just before the show's over.
Right. Yeah, usually you can't get rid of him. I'm just wondering, if I wear that, Robin, you should be dressed as something.
Well, I'm thinking. I was only thinking about your costume. I don't have a lot of time, you know.
Well, he's a costumer, so he'll have to get to work on this immediately.
Doesn't he have a car phone?
No.
I think he does, but he won't give me the number.
He does?
Yeah.
Call in, Ralph.
Dope.
So anyway, you should be in that, yes, the big wings I saw for you. Now, what do I see for me?
Low cut.
Please. We don't want to distract from the festivities.
Why don't you get one of those, like, wenches outfits where you know, where your breasts are full and pushed up?
Ooh, a wenches outfit. What is that?
You know, like in Renaissance time, where the breasts are, like, pushed and it's big and low cut. And they just
What about a wench's costume?
You know what? I'm going to take off that corset with the wires in it. I'm going to beat you with it.
What is wrong with the wenches? You look great as a wench.
Nothing wrong with
the outfit
wenches.
fits, put it on.
It has nothing to do with the theme, but at least your breasts will be prominently shown.
Nothing wrong with the wenches.
Lady Boobie. You got it, flaunt it.
Yeah.
How about a cat suit with a tail? Because you're always talking about your cats. How you love them. You will look like a cat. Jackie, you got to wear your court jester outfit just because it's so funny to see you in it.
Jesus. I don't know where it is.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Should I be as with wings?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, that'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
Talking to him with a winged outfit on.
Well, you got to do what's good.
Hysterical.
So, and what about the press? What I think we ought to do is set up our podium. Since so many members of the press are coming from Philadelphia, this is a big story for Philly.
Yes, it is.
Maybe we should address the press.
Absolutely.
After our meeting on the air.
Yeah.
By going out
That should
front.
all be done, yes. We should have the confrontation, the first meeting, you know, hashing out all of the discrepancies that have gone on over the years, all in here.
If there is a clearing of the air, then clear the air and get out with it.
If it is, will you be taking those pictures like when when the president and the vice president are at the convention where you each hold each other's hands up?
No, I am not doing that.
You might feel that good about him.
What, Ralph? Is this my clothier?
Hey, man.
My costumer?
Mr. Wardrobe.
Hey, wardrobe boy.
Yes.
Can you get me a tasteful... What do they call that, Robin?
Well, I call it the Avenging Angel outfit.
She calls it an Avenging... I call... You know those little mini dresses with... Tunics with big giant wings?
You should dress like a Greek mythology.
Like a Greek mythological figure?
Right, little leaf belt?
You know,
a leaf belt?
Right, or the gold sash.
Laurel.
Yeah.
With big, giant, thick wings.
Like Icarus.
Where are you going to go with wings?
Yeah, where are you going to sit with wings?
Go with the wings.
Oh, let me worry about that.
Yeah. Maybe a helmet.
I think you should look cool, man.
That means you don't have to do anything.
Get the head like Nike. Get the headgear with wings on it.
Oh, that's Mercury.
Yeah.
What am I, a buffoon? He's the one who should be dressed like
Why do
this.
you guys always want him to look like an idiot?
Yeah. He's the one who should look like the idiot. He's the one who ran around in duck costumes.
Make him wear his duck outfit.
Well, I said he should be in his duck outfit.
I happen to know for a fact that the duck outfit was sold.
Oh,
we
was
can't
it?
get a hold of it?
That's not the only duck outfit in the
But
world.
it's the best one.
Let him run around in his duck costume. He's so proud of it, he went on TV with it.
He did a commercial.
You should dress as a hunter and shoot him.
Oh, man.
What? Oh, what's the matter with you?
That's cool, Ralph.
Ralphie. Cool. All right, you made a good argument. Goodbye.
Okay.
Lazy boy.
Yeah, he didn't want to do anything.
I don't make any. Yes, I don't make any wings.
Where are you going to go in wings?
You just want to look cool.
I just want to look cool.
Yes.
I've yet to look cool. What was that?
So we're going to do a press conference, do that whole thing.
Yeah. I figure we'll be done with him around 8:15. You know, we're going to be bringing some people in to speak with him.
Yes.
Various people that he screwed over.
People he's known. People from his past. It'll be, this is your life.
And this is your life.
This is your crummy life.
And then when he asks permission, asks me where he wants to work, describes a humble attitude, I will either give him permission or not. Granted.
Do you want to...
Fart dig.
Do you want to talk about some of the other wacky things he said about you in this article?
Yeah, what else has he got there?
Well, one of the things I thought that was really funny...
Get us revved.
Yeah, get us revved. This is the revving. This is the pep rally.
This is right after the second rally, you know, when he's probably closer to leaving radio than being number one.
Right.
And he's trying to explain to this reporter that if you want to do the body count, the difference between the size of his audience and of Howard's audience is only 13,000 people. Just a small amount.
He was going and telling the press the difference in our audience size was 13,000.
Now he's counting heads.
Yeah, counting heads.
But he also explains that he had a small amount of commercials and you had a large amount of commercials. And the reasoning behind that is he gets a lot more money for his small amount. And you have to have so many commercials because you can't get a lot of money for them.
Oh, really? Is that documented?
So he actually makes more money commercial-wise than you.
Yeah.
That's why they booted his butt.
Yeah, they were getting so much for commercial.
And my favorite part is he goes, this is the part.
Here's what happened.
This is the part that
they used to get a lot of money for commercials. I came to town, he lost his audience, and suddenly the station couldn't get money for the commercials, and he had to leave the station. That's the history.
Then the only other thing was, he said, you know, that second rally that you did, he said, I think he made the biggest mistake of his career.
Oh, really? When I came to Philadelphia the second time?
Right.
And through the DeBella divorce party?
That was supposed to be our downfall.
Oh, that was going to turn the tide against me.
Went too far.
Yeah, went too far.
Well,
Nobody even remembers
it. Yes.
Yeah, everything's gone too far. Well, the best, the one that actually won the prize for the best song parody about that guy was this one, if you remember. Bold.
Oh, my favorite.
Bold. Bold. You're bold.
No house, no wife, no ratings, no life, no talent, no hair. Bold. Bold.
Great song.
Bold. You're bold. Big mortgage, hotel bills, not funny, out of luck. Let's face it, you suck. Bold. Bold. Bold.
This is the best part right here.
So John, switch your wrist or cut your throat. Then we'll close, 'cause you're bold.
ball. Oh, that is a masterpiece. I heard that first time Gary played for me. He goes, "Balls almost throws out in the garbage." I said, "I got to tell you something. That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life."
I never get tired of it.
Fantastic song. Anyway, go ahead.
The last thing I'm going to tell you about is he compares you to the Nazis. He says that you spew propaganda. Unlike the Nazis, I won the war. You take a piece of misinformation and get people to believe that it's a fact. You're like the Nazis in World War II. And he says that he claims that I answer the phone yazoo, and tomorrow we'll prove that that's how he used to answer the phone.
Of course. He says I used to lie about how he answered the phone.
He said that he did have a Jaguar, but it didn't have yazoo plates. Yeah. You know what his license plates were?
What?
TBC-15, the David Bowie song, which is equally
that's
silly.
worse. I'd rather have yazoo plates than TBC-15. TBC-15.
Yazoo.
Cool. Yeah, that's the Bowie song. TBC-15.
I always thought that it would make a way cool license plate. That's the only reason why I got it. It's a hidden message.
Wrong. Hidden message?
What was the message?
I'm an a-hole.
No. The hidden message was, if you know the Bowie song, man, you'll stop and maybe, notice it's me. First of all, why, if you're a well-known disc jockey in Philadelphia, would you want any identifiable license plate?
Well, you might as well be walking around one of those jackets with the call letters and your name on it.
Yeah, get your name on it.
People always say to me, how come you don't have Baba Booey license plates? And I'm like, why? So people can steal them off my car and run their key across it if they don't like me?
Or they can follow you home?
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't you want that?
Hey, don't you want all that excitement in your life? Hey, if I was Baba Booey, I'd have Baba Booey plates.
I agree.
Very good.
Well, it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Are you ready?
What's going to be the first thing that happens? I'm serious.
What is his attitude going to be?
The toughest thing's going to be the first 2 minutes.
To me, the toughest thing is what do we say to each other during the commercials? I think I'm going to just roll commercial free.
All right, so you know what you're going to say when he walks in the door.
Oh, yes.
I
know the first words I'm going to say.
What?
I'm going to say, who is number one? Who is the king? Come and meet your king. I am your king. That's what the first words will be, and then after that, I don't know what happens. I never planned this.
You know what I think's going to happen? I swear, what I think's going to happen is I know that he wants a job.
Right.
But I think that the reality when he gets in here is he just may not be as cooperative as you think, and he might be a little resistant. It could get a little ugly.
Well,
I like that.
If it gets ugly, I might not give him my permission to work anywhere.
Yeah, it's still contingent upon him just coming here doesn't mean anything.
There's no guarantee on this job.
Contingent on his
because I guarantee you, I'm in no mood to be fooled with.
What if he says the things that you want, but it's not with feeling? What if he goes, yeah, you're number one.
I will tell him that he is not the proper attitude. It is not. I'll say, go back to your gardening. It's not time for you to be on the radio.
Let me ask Baba Booey to do something. I wish he would isolate certain quotes and put them all on a list.
Yes, so I may read them.
Just so that they're not inside any copy on a list. You know, that thing about the black spot on broadcasting.
Okay. Right.
Whatever he said. Whatever you were supposed to have done to broadcasting it to him.
Usually when Baba Booey gives me notes, it's buried in paragraphs.
Yeah, you got to...
He thinks I can read when I'm on the air.
You got to read a book to find a quote.
Just find quotes.
Pull them out.
And then I will even ask my listeners, has the Zookeeper been sufficiently humble? They will have a vote in this. After all, they're part of this.
Sure.
They have a right to speak out.
I want to know what he's... How long has it been since he's been on the air? About 2 years?
Oh, absolutely, Robin.
Wonder what he's learned in that time. Well, he's been working with the Earth.
Well, look at Fred. He's been around. How many years now, Fred? How long have you been around?
10, 12.
10, 12 years, and you haven't learned anything. So there you go. Some guys never learn.
What can I say?
That's right. Well, there it is. That's your tomorrow's show is going to be very exciting.
It should be quite interesting to see you two sitting together.
Yes, it will be.
I can't wait.
I truly will be triumphant tomorrow, Robin.
I don't think you're going to be as comfortable as you sound here now.
No, of course not. That's not a comfortable situation to sit there and watch a man squirm as he admits he is wrong. Is he stable, this guy?
We can have a bouncer in here or anything?
Yeah, I want two bouncers.
Maybe you need,
he might go off.
We're not thinking of this.
What if he looks at you
maybe this is
wigs out?
Yeah, he might wig out. I want two big,
burly
muscular black men.
He could take this as a post office and go crazy.
That's right.
And he's about a postal worker at this point.
He's pretty close.
Plenty of reasons.
He should be frisked. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We have to have him come into the studio.
No. He should be strip searched.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we...
I'm not doing a cavity search. That's way out of my job description.
But I was going to suggest that we put him against the wall here and have somebody pat him down.
Yes.
You're not the first to suggest that, Robert.
You might be one of a million. Fred, you'll sit next to him.
Sure, not a problem.
Well, then he'll be scared.
He might not want to come in.
Oh, come on.
You've done more work.
You're scared of me.
Well, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting.
And a metal detector. We got a metal detector?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Of course we do. Wait, these are the Morton Downey show? People going through a
You're
metal
having John
detector.
DeBella. Different.
Bald. You're bald.
Love that. Yeah.
I remember once being in Atlantic City in the same room with him, and I happened to get close to his wife, and he ordered people to get me away from her.
Oh, is that right? That's a great story.
Get that woman away from my wife!
Yeah. Like we were the problem. Oh, man. That is funny. Hi, you're on the air. Do we have to take a break? Oh, we have to. Okay. Yeah, quickly. Hello.
Is this Stern Show?
Yeah, Stern Show.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you have the number of that girl Anna the other day?
Oh, for the foot massaging?
Yeah.
The tickling girl.
Guy's on a whole nother topic. Let's take a break, and we'll be back. We'll do some news for you and some other things right after these words.
The First Lady of New York, the lovely Libby Pataki, calls Howard Stern to give thanks for her husband, the next governor.
I got to tell you, it was the turning point when you came out and endorsed him.
Thank you. Oh, that's embarrassing. No need to play those. I don't need credit. I really don't need credit. You don't have to play those anymore. Don't really listen to me.
What are you saying to Fred? Put him in a less obvious rotation?
No. You just keep doing whatever you have to do. Whatever you were instructed off the air to do.
Well, did you see your two girls in the paper this morning, Libby and Betsy?
Yeah. Libby, suddenly politics has heated up.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Let me, hey, as long as I'm on a roll here and I've just elected a governor, I got this nomination for the ACE Award for a TV show I did.
I still am not clear that you are nominated.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's my show. It's the show I sat on a couch and talked to people. I think I'm the only one not nominated.
They didn't mention your name in the...
Yeah, the Howard Stern interview show that I did for E, which was not the show we run now, but the show before that, where I used to sit on a couch and interview people, was nominated for an ACE Award. So I'm reading, this is a local cable magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Not local, actually, national. It's called, I see what this is. This is the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh.
Okay.
It's not a little magazine.
So it says, listen how they treat me. One of the biggest surprises, isn't that something? Was a nod to controversial radio personality Howard Stern. Like I can't do anything. This is a complete surprise.
Okay.
Who has never been nominated for any television industry award.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Larry King has 900 aces.
And they're not embarrassed.
Yeah, they're not embarrassed to give him an award. No one's shocked when he gets a nomination. Let's see. It says Howard Stern. Okay. E! Entertainment Television's The Howard Stern Interview is included in the category of talk show series. Against CNN's Larry King Live, Comedy Central's Politically Incorrect. Politically Incorrect is a show that you and I do every day with the news, but they put it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
VH1's Jonathan Ross Presents, whatever that is, and Lifetime Television's Queens, whatever that is.
Now, he's not bothered about those nominations.
No. I don't recall Jonathan Ross ever been awarded anything.
Not even from this
Queens.
country.
Yeah, or Queens, or Politically Incorrect.
Yeah, it has never been nominated before.
So they got a hold of Lee Masters, the president of E! And Lee said, I hear Howard's very excited. Of course, Lee wouldn't know and never calls me. I hear Howard's very excited about it, says Lee Masters, president and CEO of E! We're not surprised by it. He's a terrific interviewer, and he's done a great job for the network. Oh, thank you, Lee. Masters did not know if Stern was planning to attend the January 15th award ceremony. No. So they could tell me ahead of time I'd be winning. I'd attend. I'm not going to go there to watch, some guy named Jonathan Ross pick up an ace.
Or Bill Maher.
Bill Maher or Larry King. Right?
Right, of course. But isn't that sad that they have to point out you've never been nominated?
It's a shock to the entire industry.
We were doing so well, we had managed not to nominate him.
There goes that shutout.
Yeah. I got to admit, though, I'd like to win. Sure. Why not?
Why
Sure.
not?
All right, there you go. I admitted it, okay? You broke me down.
I don't think there was ever any doubt in anyone's mind.
Can't we fix that stupid award show? That's a cable show.
We don't know who's voting.
We should be able to fix that.
You've seen the award, right?
No, what does it look like?
Yeah, we had it on Channel 9 once because our old Channel 9 executive producer won one.
Oh, is that right?
It's in the shape.
Well, then I know I've got to win.
It's in the shape of like an
ace.
Yeah, like from
Ace of Spades.
Yeah, like the Ace of Spades, and it's sort of like silver.
Is it glass?
It's sort of like more mirrored.
Ooh.
And it's in the shape
That would look
of
good on my trophy wall.
Which is empty.
Well, you don't have to point that out. Hey, I've won a lot of awards, Robin. Like,
yeah, but those silly little plaques.
Oh.
This would be a nice award.
Wait, Howard's got a beautiful plaque with a baseball bat on it.
Why does it have a baseball bat?
Because you were the MVP.
Of what?
Friday morning quarterback. You were the MVP of radio. The big bat.
I like the ace. I like ace. Well, I've certainly arrived. I'm on a real roll.
Well, you are. Here's a publication that's not afraid to support you. Now, here's a big award.
Oh, go ahead.
It's official. For the third year in a row, Scene Magazine in Cleveland has voted you the best of Northeast Ohio. You voted best DJ and best morning show.
Huh. Kudos to you as well, Robin, my queen.
To all of us.
That's right.
Morning show.
Everyone except Fred. For all who work hard on the show.
Fair enough.
Not for those who just show up.
Right. Not for those who dawdle in the hall.
Sure.
No, of course for you too, Fred.
No, it's quite all right. I don't accept that.
Fred is turning down the Cleveland Scene Award.
Giving a non-acceptance speech.
Right.
Getting ready for DeBella in here.
I think Fred gets it worse than DeBella.
I think you're right.
Howard, could I take a moment to mention that we're looking for interns for the show again?
I prefer you didn't.
Okay.
But go ahead.
We're looking for interns for the show again. According to this, qualities we seek are production knowledge, computer knowledge, typing skills, organizational skills, and phone and people skills.
Why don't you make it simple?
You have to
Anyone who breathes.
No. You have to be in college. You have to get college credit. That's the key.
Right.
And they're available now for the starting in January. And just send a resume with a cover letter describing your skills to Kathy Tobin.
Stuttering is a skill, by the way.
Of the Howard Stern Show, 600 Madison Avenue, 4th floor, New York, 10022. We're looking for bright people who are looking for a future in communications.
Although if you have a handicap or problems, you can come too. Because we like that.
In any field.
In any field.
Some of our past interns have been 2 stutterers and a New Jersey Nets cheerleader.
Right. So anything's open. Cheerleaders considered first.
That is a handicap, isn't it, cheerleading?
Yeah. We need a crop of beauties. I'd like an all-girl intern staff at some point.
No, you've never managed to have that. There's been all-boys staff.
Yes.
And also, we are an equal opportunity employer. Minorities apply as well.
Of course
Everybody.
we love minorities.
We love minorities, but certain minorities we're not into.
Who?
We're not going to say who.
Well,
let's not embarrass those minorities. Yeah, we draw a line at certain minorities. We're not going to say which.
It's a jagged line.
Right.
If you're a gay stuttering cheerleader, come on down.
Right. We need you. Robin, my vote is that we take a little break and do the news next.
All right.
The next governor of New York, George Pataki, shows his gratitude to Howard Stern for making him governor.
We were campaigning at the Long Island Railroad at Penn Station, and everybody's going, Howard's for you. I got to go vote for you.
That's right. I mean, thank you. Well, Robin, what's in the news?
It's a bizarre day.
What did Fred do?
Wasn't Fred this time.
All right.
Some of his friends, I suppose. But sad story to report. The father of rapper Young MC has been charged with fatally stabbing the performer's mother after an argument.
Young MC, is that our friend? I mean,
yes.
The guy we don't hear from anymore?
Yes.
Wow.
Cleveland Young, 57, was charged with second-degree murder in his been held on bail of $500,000. His arraignment has been set for December 9th.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
No kidding. Young MC's mother was stabbed to death
by his father.
Wow. That gentle guy? Mm-hmm. Young MC? Wow. Should we go to the funeral?
We didn't know his parents, and
we know him.
To him.
Well, he doesn't like us, but we like him.
It might be hurtful for him to see us show up.
Well, then I won't go. Why? I forget. Why is he mad at us?
Because we stopped talking to him every 10 minutes.
But he doesn't have any hit records. What am I supposed to do? Keep talking to a guy who doesn't have any hit records?
Hey, what are you, a fair weather friend?
Yes.
That's exactly what he said.
Oh, okay. All right, then I understand. I think I'll stay away from that funeral. No, but listen, the guy wasn't writing any more hit songs. Doesn't mean I don't like him anymore.
I don't think there's any way to put a better face on it.
Boy, I can't believe that. You know, there's a guy, I said, there's a young black man.
You assume he came from a good family background.
Absolutely.
He's so well-spoken and
so
well-behaved.
Wow. Hey, this guy, you couldn't meet a gentler, nicer black guy. So well-behaved, so against the stereotype. When you met him, you not only felt there was racial harmony in the world, you felt
it was possible.
You felt that black people were better than white people.
So now what are you saying?
A true credit to his race. A true credit.
So what are you saying?
I haven't said anything the whole show. What do you mean, what am I saying now?
I just wonder if there's a point to it.
I'm looking for one. Give me a second.
Groping.
I'm groping. What I think I'm saying is... Well, you say something. Go ahead, your turn.
See, I know what you want to say.
What do I want to say? I forget.
I want to say it.
No, what I am saying is that it is, this remarkable young man, because he is so well behaved. You see so many brothers out there who are angry with the white man. This was a guy who was not angry.
Well, see, it always bothered me that you had to make a special issue of his behavior because he was black. Now, if a white guy walked in acting like young MC, you wouldn't have said a word. You'd have just had a conversation with him about all the time.
I know.
Boy, you are so well behaved.
And I can't even tell you how it bothered me. But yet I had to single him out because listen, I grew up in a black community. So many of the brothers are angry. Out there smoking crack, committing crime. Most of the jails are filled with black people. So you meet a guy who doesn't have an axe to grind. You figure, well, maybe his parents are special people who raised him this way.
No, now they're not special?
Maybe his father had young MC's anger.
And didn't pass it on.
Yeah, maybe
give him credit for that.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for that. Were there drugs or booze involved in this killing?
I don't know.
It's a very sad
all
story.
The information I had.
Despite what he thinks of me, a young MC, very nice guy. Sorry to hear that. Because to lose one's mother to the father...
That way. That's losing both parents, as they say, at once.
At once.
So should we make some kind of gesture?
Sounds like the O.J. thing in a way.
It is. He's like O.J.'s children.
Right.
In a sense.
Yes. Well, I don't think we should do anything.
No flowers?
I spent my wad on Mark Harris' funeral.
The flower budget is shit.
Flower budget. Nobody, everyone was big on the air. They're going to chip in. I ended up shelling out the $500.
Nobody ever came and asked me for money. I would have done.
I'm too embarrassed.
You know.
Jackie's like, I'll chip in on that.
Then I will take care of the young MC flowers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No, it's not necessary. Maybe it would be considered. He'd think we were joking or something.
Okay, all right.
We did that bit already.
Oh, sorry.
We sent flowers. That's a bit.
Next bit.
How about everyone buys his CD?
Does he have one out?
Yep.
Check the cutout bit.
Right.
Is it any good?
Doesn't matter if it's good.
Maybe we should search the lyrics for some indication.
Oh, stop it. His father just stabbed his mother. Can you imagine? Anyway, go ahead. Let's go on to the next story. Sorry to hear it.
Yeah. Tupac Shakur, another rapper, was in court yesterday.
Any news about white people, Robin?
No, this is going to be an all-black news.
What is this? What am I on, the BET? The Black Entertainment Network? And why do they call it Black Entertainment Network if it's BET? Isn't it BEN? Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Nobody's talking over there.
Let's call him and ask.
Go ahead.
He's in court in New York being charged with rape. A woman accused him of sodomizing her and then allowing some of his cronies to do the same.
I bet his parents are fine.
No, his mother was a member of the Black Panthers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But nobody stabbed her.
I don't know. I don't know her history, but I bet you it's a wild one.
All right.
Anyway, the prosecuting attorney characterized the attack in very graphic terms in court yesterday. Said that this young woman met Shakur.
How old?
Oh, she's in her 20s. She's 20.
Okay.
Met Shakur at a nightclub on November 18th.
Black woman?
Yes.
Go ahead.
She was flattered that of all the women, he was interested in her. They hit it off immediately. He took her back to the hotel where he was staying. They had consensual sex. The next time they met again at his hotel, she was in the midst of giving Shakur a back rub when several of his friends burst into the room. Shakur had oral sex with her and held her down while the others did the same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, stop it,
Jackie. What does he sodomized her mean, Robin?
Oral sex in this case.
Oh, so who did who? He forced himself on her.
Right. He did this, and then the others, he held her down while the others did the same to her.
All right, go ahead.
The attorney for the young woman, the prosecuting attorney, says that she fought so much that some of the other guys who were in on this party called her a loser. Shakur tried to calm her down by saying, you know, you have to do for me, or for my boys, what you've done for me.
My posse, Robin.
Yeah.
That's so it's black. Oh, my posse.
I don't know the lingo.
Well, I'm teaching you.
Telling you in English what happened.
If you're going to do me, do my posse. That's how a lot of the brothers talk.
All right. Well, and then she started crying that I thought you liked me, and one of his friends said, oh, he likes you. He likes you so much he wanted to share you with us.
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, you know...
Shakur's attorney says that this is just a disgruntled suitor. She's just upset that it didn't turn into a real romance. And that's all this is about. She made up this story, and that's their defense.
So in other words, how does someone prove that this guy did... Like, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's saying, hey, I had sex with her and I didn't want to be with her. Is there some distinguishing marks on her or something that...
I haven't seen all the evidence. This is just the opening argument.
When will you see the evidence?
Oh, as it is laid out in court.
I see. Well, so how does a woman prove? In other words, it is her word against his.
Oftentimes, yes, and it's whoever the jury believes.
I see.
Mickey Rourke accompanied Tupac to the courtroom.
Now, there's a guy you want in your corner.
And when asked why he was there, he said that Tupac had been very supportive of his problems with the law, and that he wanted to be a friend. He considers him a friend. Tupac's attorneys are also claiming that he was set up, that their client was set up by the police here in New York because he had been charged with shooting at two policemen in Atlanta. Those charges were subsequently dismissed.
I see.
So we don't know. Just have to watch that one. Also in the news, in action...
Tupac, that's some name. That's Scott's nickname, our engineer. He smokes 2 packs during lunch.
Oh, we should call him Tupac.
Tupac. Why don't we call Scott the engineer 2 packs?
Hey, Tupac.
Hey, Tupac, come here.
Tupac Salem.
Tupac.
Toupee. Hey, Toupee.
All along, he had all these monikers we could have been calling him.
Toupee. Should we call him Tupac or Toupee?
Well, since he took off the toupee, I suppose we should call him Tupac.
How about Tupac Toupee?
Tupac Toupee.
Hey, Tupac Toupee.
Tupac shook hair.
Hey, here he is. Tupac, where's your hair?
Tupac Baldy.
Right there.
Tupac Toupee. That's your new name, Scott.
Tupac shook hair.
I shucked my hair. Your two-pack shuck hair.
Thank you.
I saw the E! Show. Did you see the one yet with Scott?
No, I missed that one, but a lot of people are writing in about how funny.
It was a half hour of Scott just being goofed on about his hair. Taking it off the first time. It was a fantastic show. It was really great. The only problem with the show was it wasn't an hour.
Oh.
I heard it was the highest rated show on E! the other night.
Is that right?
On the E! channel the whole day.
I believe it.
God,
Is that right?
Rating.
That's what Scott told me.
No kidding.
Did you see John rip his wig off?
Yeah. Saw it all. No, actually, no, that wasn't the one you're thinking of. That's the one where Scott came in with his Planet Hollywood hat, and we revealed it.
He's just bald.
Right.
He's great. And everything Scott was wearing was another free thing from the radio station. He had a free Planet Hollywood shirt, a free sweatshirt from something else.
Everything had advertising.
Yeah.
On it.
Remember that show?
Everything had right.
Well, it was so much fun to watch.
He's a model.
You
I
read
loved it.
Scott. You don't just look at him.
It drives me crazy that my cable system still won't give me E! I got a letter from a guy. Writes me a letter. He says, Howard, they're taking a vote on my cable system in Pennsylvania. I'll read the name of it. And they're offering one additional channel, but all of the viewers have to vote. And the E! channel's running number 2. And I really am afraid that I'm not going to get it. So could you mention it on the air? I'd mention it, but I don't have it. Wait, all right, wait a second.
If they did it on Long Island, we'd have it immediately, right?
What?
If they took a vote on Long Island, we'd get
Of course. You'd have it, but they don't want to give you what you... There's a monopoly going on.
You shouldn't even have to vote. You just get everything.
It should be broken up the way the phone company was broken up. Where is the FCC on that? They're busy monitoring my penis quotient.
Do you have it there? Oh, my goodness. Can I go on to the next story?
I'll be quiet over here. Go ahead. When I find it, I'm going to read it.
No, you have to listen to this story.
Oh, I'm listening. I'm just looking.
I'm not going to do this story unless you're listening.
Do you think I'm not listening?
Yes, I can't even hear myself.
A letter from a guy dying.
Oh,
probably dead already. I haven't read it for 3 months.
How old is it?
It's like 3 months old.
Not even death gets you priority on this show.
I swear to God, I got this in the mail. I said, I got to read this on before the guy dies. And, of course, it's 3 months. It's buried in he's buried, and my briefcase, this is buried. All right, I can't find it right now, Robin. I apologize to you and the listeners.
Well, maybe you'll find it during the commercial. All right, you're gonna be sorry you missed this story.
What?
Sorry you missed this story.
Well, when are you gonna read it already?
I'm not reading it while you're looking.
All right, go ahead.
In Akron, Ohio, a man found in bed with pieces of his mother's corpse.
Black guy?
Confessed to killing her.
Was it a black guy or a white guy?
No, white guy.
Oh, you're now into the white news.
Yes, because she was a vampire.
So we're going to hear about another black rape.
No.
Do 25 stories until I get to some white people. Now, what did this white guy do?
He killed his mother because he thought she was a vampire devil, and he cut out both her hearts.
Both her hearts?
Both her hearts.
But she wasn't.
Henry M. Heap told police that he beat his 77-year-old mother, Barbara Heap, to death, then stabbed her and removed her organs.
Oh, my God. So he had a reason to do it.
Officers found some of the body parts in a pan on the stove.
Wow. What's that all about?
They think he may have eaten
part of his mother?
The others. His mouth was smeared with blood.
I wonder if Governor Pataki can do anything about this. Let me call him. I'm his new commissioner.
Well, he said one of the first orders of business would be to sign the death penalty, but this happened in Akron, Ohio. We can't have the guy brought here.
Governor Pataki is also governor of Ohio.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He said, I killed my mother because she was a vampire devil, and I cut out both her hearts. It took her 5 hours to die, he told police. Police were called to the apartment after one of the neighbors reported they heard a woman crying in pain. He barricaded himself, this Heap guy barricaded himself into his bedroom and refused to come out. After hours of talking to him, police finally broke down the door and rushed in to find him lying nude in the bed, trying to have sex with a portion of his mother's bowel.
No, that's great. Imagine you're a cop. It's your last day on the force. You're close to retirement.
That's morning.
And you've seen some bad things, don't get me wrong, but you break open the door and a guy's disemboweled his mother. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
When they entered the house, they heard a man chanting, die, die, die.
That's an old Jewish song. Die, die, Anu.
I don't think it was the same one. So anyway, the lower half of the woman's stomach, her right eye and spleen, and a small part of her small intestines were missing.
Give me that article. I want to hang that at my mother's house next time she starts yelling at me.
Yeah, you're going to put articles on
Hey,
her
Ma,
door.
read about this guy. Don't think I'm that far away from snapping, because I am.
A knife was found near the toilet, which left the possibility open that he flushed some of the body parts. He's now in the hospital. He was...
She's in the hospital. You know what should be in the hospital? The mother.
No, she's dead. Won't help.
He's in the
he
hospital.
He also has diabetes, so they put him in the
sorry to
hospital
hear
for
that.
treatment. They say they can't say much more about his condition because there's also the psychiatric situation in a case like this. He's been unstable, according to some, since his brother committed suicide in 1970. One of the neighbors said it's a dirty shame because his mother took care of him.
I could live with all of that whole story. Killing your mother, chopping her up, her heart, thinking that she's the dog. You know, I figured maybe the guy might be mentally ill, took out her heart because he thought she was Dracula, whatever it is. Having sex with a bowel, though, that's just not right.
Yeah, don't go too far.
Yeah, that's going too far. That's where I draw the line. That's where it becomes heinous.
He's nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts. What did that look like? He was
dead. He's naked.
And he's doing stuff to a bowel.
Yeah.
Like, what is a bowel?
It's a long tube that's, folded up inside your body.
So when you get it out of your mom's body, does it unfold so you have a nice long tube?
Oh, I guess you can unravel it. I don't know.
Does it offer a lot of friction?
I wouldn't know this, Howard.
I've never had sex with one's bowel.
You know what it would be like? Probably could characterize it for you.
Right.
It would be like stuffing.
Oh.
Like one of those Chinese fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
In Mandeville, Louisiana.
And is the bowel full of bowel movement? Looks like I wish I had a diagram of that. All right, go ahead. I'm hung up on it.
In Mandeville, Louisiana, a homeless man living in Fontainebleau Park was arrested yesterday for sodomizing a pet poodle of a Covington woman.
What news is this? I read 3 papers a day. I didn't see one of these stories.
Bernice Hall was enjoying the mild...
Wait, where are you getting this from?
And taking
No, come on, stop.
daily stroll. People send me these stories.
Yeah, and where is it from? Name in the paper.
The Covington Town Talk.
And what is Covington? Where is that?
Down in Louisiana somewhere.
All right, go ahead.
Now, Bernice Hall was enjoying a mild day and taking her stroll through the park, daily stroll, with her dog, Keela.
Keela.
Yeah, she unleashed the dog, take a little romp in the park. And play, and when the dog just disappeared, just left her view. She didn't know where the dog was. So she was talking to some woman sitting on the bench, and she looked up, and Keela was gone. So she went to look for the dog, and then she walked around a corner or near a bush or something and found this guy with one hand around the dog's muzzle and another one around its neck, and he was having sex with the tiny poodle.
Wow. With the dog or the dog's bowels? What was he doing to the dog? He was
having sex with
intercourse.
the dog. Yes, Howard.
Oh, I thought it was sodomy.
No.
I've done that.
A ranger in the park said, "We have all kinds of homeless people around the park, but I've never heard of anything like this."
It was a poodle, huh?
Yeah. Cute.
Poodle, asking for it. Because most people like to go to a park, let the dog run around a little bit, but I guess you can't even do that anymore.
No, you've got to protect your children and your dogs and everything else.
And what kind of punishment is there offered for a guy like this who rapes a poodle? Is it a crime? I mean, do you lock him? You can't lock him up, can you?
Him on the nose with a newspaper.
No, come on, what do you do?
No. Usually, don't they just find people? We've heard stories like this before. I don't know what the law is in
what do you do with it?
Louisiana.
I mean, he's got to be one step away from raping a woman.
No, you don't lock a person up when they do things like that.
Right.
You don't take them off the street. We don't have a world where that happens. In Los Angeles, where they passed Proposition 187, the other day, some court judges have already imposed so many, what do they call those, restraining orders on the proposition that it can't be enforced. So nobody has seen any change in California yet. People still can go and get medical care, get an education, get whatever they want.
That's insanity.
Show up. Because somehow or other, a few years ago, the Supreme Court said you couldn't kick the children of illegal immigrants out of schools.
That's amazing. I don't know why there's a problem. You know, it's like today. I'm reading.
What does the term illegal immigrant mean?
I'm reading. I know. Why does an illegal immigrant have rights in this country? I got to tell you something. That's why we're doomed. The people of California want this proposition. They voted it in. It's clearly not unconstitutional. They're illegal immigrants. They should go back to where they came from. And if they don't, they certainly shouldn't be supported. I'm reading in the paper today how they said, well, George Pataki wants the death penalty. But, of course, the judges, the liberal judges that Cuomo put in, will not allow this. And you won't see a death penalty even if everyone goes along with it for 10 years. Now, I don't know I thought you pass a law and that's it.
What happens if there's a crime for which the death penalty is the ultimate sentence, and you say, all right, this guy committed the crime, so the sentence is death penalty?
No, they're saying the judges won't even allow a death penalty bill to be passed?
No, the judges can't.
What will they have to do with it?
Yeah,
Like maybe they'll rule it unconstitutional?
The only thing I can see that they would do is on appeal, they keep throwing it out or lowering the sentence.
I just said that's outrageous.
But you certainly can't stop the bill from being passed.
I don't know.
You could determine that it's unconstitutional and keep sending it back.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they're saying they're going to do.
Oh.
I'm saying, well, this is nonsense. The people want it. Well, who are these people to block it? Who are these people? Anyway, that's what's going on.
So anyway, with this Proposition 187, everything's still the same in California. They say it could be 10 years.
Everything's 10 years.
As it roams around being challenged time and time again. The big question with the bill, people say, is that everybody thinks it's racist.
I don't know why. Why is it racist?
I thought it was targeting illegal immigrants. People who don't belong in this country.
I don't know. Everything in this society is racist. You wait and see. In 10 years, Chico and Jose will be senators. They not only will be illegal. It'll be illegal aliens running for Senate. This is nuts. We got to take a break.
But there is no such thing as an illegal immigrant, in other words.
Right. Anyone can be here. If you can get in this country, you have full rights.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after these words.
You're listening to The Howard Stern Show. Once again, Howard Stern.
Get out of town, baby. Who's this playing?
I think it's stuck in the machine so I can't see it.
Sounds like it's stuck. You're playing the same note over and over again.
Is that Jackal?
Is that Jackal, Robin?
I don't know, Howard.
I thought you follow this stuff. Fred, you don't have to wait for the cue. Just hit stop and...
Well, I didn't want to interrupt.
What is it?
I think that's Jackal.
I'm waiting for the answer.
I think that's Jackal. That's my
okay. All right, go ahead, Robin. I can't talk with him. It's impossible.
He still thinks it's Jackal, though.
Okay.
I think it's Jackal.
In the rest
Didn't it sound like he was waiting for the thing to end so he could check?
I did. I pulled it out
What?
and I looked.
Oh, so is it Jackal?
I still think it's Jackal.
No, I don't know what you're saying. Either you know or you don't.
I hesitate to use those words because they'll come back to haunt me. I don't know.
Hold on a second. Either it's written on there or it's not written on there.
No, because there's 5 songs.
What does it say?
There's Jackal, there's Meat Puppets, Dream Theater, Anthrax, and Billy
so
Kane.
in other words, you have no idea which of those 5 it is.
Usually,
well, that's a useful system.
Well, there you go. But either that or it's have 800 carts, which we already have anyway.
Okay, thank you.
So usually...
I don't care. Go ahead, Robin. You're with the news. I don't get this whole thing.
Fred has his own system over there, Howard.
There is no system.
The O.J. Simpson case continues. I haven't mentioned it in a couple of days, and it's been fun not talking about O.J., but they are back to selection of an alternate jury. So they're interviewing people again as they go through the process. And yesterday, the prosecuting attorneys added a black attorney.
That was a good move.
to the group of attorneys who will be prosecuting O.J. when the trial begins, and, of course, the defense started screaming this was racism.
Of course it is. So what? This whole case is racial. O.J. should be in jail.
Cochran
of course.
For that same reason?
Why do you think Johnny they added him first, so that's not racial. Johnny Cochran, the only reason he is there, he's not a great attorney.
Well, I hear he's a great attorney.
You hear that because they keep releasing that to the press. You don't know whether he is.
Excuse me, do you know anything about Robert Shapiro or any of those other guys?
I don't know that he's such a great attorney. Johnny Cochran's no great. Johnny Cochran, everyone's screaming, he's on the black cases.
Yeah, but you have to reach a certain prominence before people start adding your name to things.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, he must have done something right.
Right.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
What did he do?
This is the black dilemma.
Of course.
Anytime you get appointed to anything, it's just because you're black. It has nothing to do with whether you're good or not.
You said it again, Ron.
Oh.
You said it again. Where she speaks the truth.
I agree.
No, that is the black dilemma. As a matter of fact, listen, there's nothing wrong with the prosecution putting a black guy. Everything is racial in this case.
Didn't they pick a black jury?
Sure. There you go. So why is everyone saying that's not racial? Of course not. That was okay.
So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
You got an all-black jury, you better damn well get a black guy standing up there acting like he's part of the prosecution. Listen, you know, this is it. This is the way the world is. You can't try to correct it right now. You got to get this guy in jail. Go ahead, Rob.
Meanwhile, Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, the woman who was the Duchess of York. I guess she still is the Duchess of York. She was married to one of those English princes. She was over here at FAO Schwartz yesterday. I guess she's here raising money or something, but she's also written that stupid book about a helicopter.
Yeah, Fudgy the helicopter.
Budgie, isn't it?
Budgie. Can you imagine? Fudgy.
Fudgy the helicopter.
Whatever it is. Imagine any idiot who has nothing going on in their life, wants to make some money or wants publicity, they write a children's book, because children will read any garbage. I got news for you. She don't know what she's doing. She writes a children's book. Budgie the helicopter.
You want this woman anywhere near your children?
Right.
Why are you reading her books? And people are lining up just because she's royalty.
Royalty. She married somebody.
People in this country are crazy.
Fudgy the helicopter.
So anyway, here's a few of Fergie's words.
Oh, Fergie spoke? Hello.
I cannot believe that the little helicopter that I flew in the hangar all those years ago is now going to be here in the store. I really can't believe it. The reason why I wrote the book was that I decided that I was behaving so like a child that it was time that I wrote it down.
Really?
Really?
Where'd that come from?
I can't believe the helicopter is now a book. Yeah, it's a book because you married some guy.
Yeah, if you weren't Fergie, Duchess of York,
Duchy.
It wouldn't be a book.
Duchess of York.
Duchess of Pork.
What else you got there?
I saw an article in the paper today that says graffiti artists make money selling videos of their art.
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently when you run around marking up walls and real estate all over New York, you then videotape yourself doing it, and these videotapes are put on sale. They said they arrested a graffiti artist and his gang yesterday, and then they discovered that he was making a videotape of what he was doing, and this is how he makes his primary living.
Who the hell would buy that?
I don't know. It's amazing what people can make money from these days.
Does he have a catalog of videos? 20 pages?
Absolutely.
It's incredible. You wonder why it persists, this wacky graffiti. Well, people apparently have figured out a way to make money out of it. The late actor Raul Julia's Manhattan apartment was burglarized over the weekend.
You're kidding.
No.
Boy, when things go wrong.
They go real wrong. The theft of cash and valuables was reported on Monday, less than 2 weeks after his death. His New York apartment is located on the first floor of a doorman building on West End Avenue. So,
I thought he was doing better than that.
Maybe it was very big, a lot of space. I don't know.
He had a first floor apartment? Well, better he gets robbed than someone who needs this stuff.
At least he didn't seem too upset when he heard the news.
It'd be ironic if it was Puerto Ricans who did the job, wouldn't it? I hear you saying a hero's welcome in Puerto Rico.
He's over there with his flag-draped coffin.
A bunch of Puerto Ricans broke in and took all his stuff. Hey, he in Puerto Rico, man.
Hey, this is a nice suit.
Hey, look, this looks like the suit Gomez wore in the Adams Family.
Look at this. Videotapes of Adams Family. We could sell very nice.
It fits.
It fits?
The suit, it fits. Let's take it. Hey, I look like Gomez from the Adams Family.
Say, Teach, I love you.
Teach, I love you. See. What do you see?
The sea.
Do they have a view of the sea? This is a nice apartment. TV, mucho heavy.
Mamacita will love it.
See. TV, mucho heavy. Hey, look, this must be Raul Julio's apartment. All you say is see?
See.
These jewels are heap valuable.
Heap.
What else you got there?
One of the original writers of TV Saturday Night Live has died. Michael O'Donoghue was 54. His wife says he died of a massive cerebral hemorrhage.
A big one?
That's massive.
Right.
He was one of the original writers on the show.
Wasn't he into dark humor?
And wrote many of its funniest sketches.
Don't we have any cerebral hemorrhages jokes? Yeah, Gary once spoke to him. He was like one of these. He was considered the darkest of the Saturday Night Live writers.
Yeah, he was the weird guy.
The weird one. Michael O'Donoghue.
Well, here's Alan Zweibel until Baba Booey gets here to say a few words about him. Alan joined the staff of Saturday Night Live at about the same time.
Alan's become this guy who just comments on dead writers and dead performers.
That's his job now?
He just wrote a book about Gilda Radner called Bunny Bunny.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I can't make sense of it. I don't even know. He wrote a book. I can't even read it. Did you try to read it?
I've never seen this book. I know you told me about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's the dialogues between him and Gilda that he supposedly remembers.
Uh-huh.
I think he remembers them the way he chooses to.
You mean he recreated them? He didn't have them on tape.
And he doesn't tell you who's talking. It's just as if I wrote this dialogue that you and I are having, didn't put R next
Never
to Robin.
said Robin or Howard.
No. And you start to read it within a paragraph, you're lost. You don't know who's talking. I don't know who wrote that. What? What?
Do you care that there's an angry Puerto Rican on the phone? You know what he's angry about?
See.
He said, you're not doing a Puerto Rican accent, you're doing a Mexican accent.
Hello?
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 Howard, cut it out.
Cut that what out?
Yeah, all right. Now you sound like a Puerto Rican. Before you're doing the Mexican.
Well, dang you. See.
Come on, serious, cut it out.
Cut out what? Cut out what?
Yesterday, and then yesterday with the hairy Puerto Rican girl. Not all Puerto Rican girls are hairy.
See. Are you calling from your station wagon, man?
No, I don't have a station wagon. All right?
That girl was
I have
hairy.
a motorcycle.
Is your mama hairy?
Hey, Howard, I ain't talking about your mother. Why don't you just cut it out?
She likes to do things with her tongue.
Who?
Your mother.
Oh.
Make the hair
Really
on your
funny.
arms just stand right up like a porcupine.
How is your mother in bed?
Oh, she's
I really don't know. I really don't know. My father...
Wait, there's a couple of guys here. One of them is Joke Man. He know.
My father broke up with my mother, so I wouldn't know. I guess it wasn't all that good.
So you don't have no mama?
No, I don't have no father.
Your mama must be hairier than a German
No,
Shepherd.
she's fat. She's fat. She's not hairy.
How fat is she?
She's just fat.
What?
Do me a favor, cut it out.
She sits around the hacienda. She sits
around the hacienda.
See?
That's Jackie laughing at his own jokes.
At his own joke. See?
She has a tampon the size of a piñata.
All right, look.
What are you complaining about exactly?
What you're doing, you know, the
What about
imitations are wrong of a Puerto Rican. You're doing the Mexicans.
But you're
Make fun of Mexicans. Don't make fun of Puerto Ricans, all right? That's all. All right?
See?
All right, okay.
Like somebody who cares about the difference between what a Puerto Rican and a Mexican sound like. As if there's a difference.
Who could tell?
Yeah, like someone's,
There's a
someone's
difference,
focusing.
Howard.
Yeah, I'll worry about that.
We're legal.
Tell your mother I said hi, all right?
Yeah, all right.
All right, senor.
All right.
See? A dopey guy. So Alan Zweibel, now what is he? He's the one
commenting on the passing of Michael O'Donoghue.
Is he going to write a book about his conversations with...
Well, that must be in the works.
I guess that movie North didn't work out too good, so Alan's writing eulogies. Didn't he write North, that Rob Reiner thing?
I didn't know that. Did he?
I think he did.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
North went south.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner, every movie he makes is bigger than the next.
Yeah, he's got that touch of gold.
So Alan goes, hey, I'll write a movie and give it to Alan. I'll give it to Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Did you read that Gilda Radner book?
No.
I mean, I like Alan. He's a nice guy and everything, but hey, once in a while, reference who's talking. And every conversation, Alan's trying to paint it like Gilda Radner was in love with him, but they never got around to marrying, and he doesn't know why. I know why.
He didn't marry her.
Because she wasn't attractive. Gilda Radner was not a good-looking woman.
It doesn't. What is the oversight? The oversight is not getting to the altar.
He's like, I guess we were just too busy, because like all of a sudden, it's an egotistical book. It's trying to show people how close he was with Gilda Radner. So all of a sudden, I probably say they weren't even that close. So Gilda goes, Zweibel. She calls him Zweibel. Zweibel? He goes, yeah. How come we never got married? I guess we never found the time. Yeah, it's like, hey, because I'm not attracted to you.
Yeah, if you really want to marry somebody, that's all you think about.
And Zweibel's no Clark Gable.
I get those chills.
Yeah, you got to read the book. It's like really... It's like, I don't know how much of that is Zweibel making stuff up.
Well, you know.
Yeah, because he's going to make himself look better. He's not going to be
it's
not like
the guy who wouldn't marry her.
She's not going to protest.
Yeah, right. Gilda's begging him to be married. So would they call him up for a comment on O'Donoghue?
Yep.
Michael's imprint on the show was a real profound one at the beginning. Even some of the commercial parodies he did a thing called Shimmer, which was a combination of floor wax and dessert topping.
Oh, pictures, Zweibel pulling out the guy's worst bit he ever wrote.
Of all the great things he did, he remembers Shimmer.
Alan's become the Georgie Jessel of 1994. He's the Toastmaster General. He gives eulogies. Yeah, right. Friends, Michael O'Donoghue wrote the Shimmer bit.
That's right, and it was one of the most wonderful bits that ever appeared on Saturday Night Live.
It was a topping and a floor wax.
It was a floor wax, it was a dessert topping. It was wonderful.
No equal.
There was no equal.
Now, if Dan Aykroyd could just drop dead, I'd have a trilogy.
They had Michael O'Donoghue on the news yesterday describing the Wolverine bit, which I never thought was that funny. It was the first
I don't think Michael O'Donoghue wrote anything funny.
Well, I have a Michael O'Donoghue story.
Oh, yeah.
I spoke to him a couple of years ago.
Why?
Because when we had our falling out with Chevy Chase, somebody gave me his number and said, you ought to call Michael. He hates Chevy.
Yeah.
So I called him, and he did, but he just wouldn't come on the air and talk about it. Basically, he just said, Chevy was like really selfish with the bits and wasn't a generally nice guy. He didn't like Chevy at all.
Was Michael O'Donoghue like normal? I always pick him like Count Dracula.
I got just talking to him on the phone, it's really weird. I got the impression that he was sitting in a very dark apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he just, he seemed like an interesting guy. He liked you a lot, though.
Did he?
He was a big fan of the show.
Well, I like Mr. Mike.
What is that, Mr. Mike? They keep bringing that up in the paper.
Mr. Mike was that guy who told sort of sadistic bedtime stories.
Oh, yeah? I don't remember that. Alan Zweibel, the eulogizer of all Saturday Night Live people who dropped dead.
Thank goodness they had large casts.
Sitting somewhere hoping that Garrett Morris gets a call.
Garrett, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, but I got a little cold.
Well, you look a little pale. Why don't you lie down over there and stop breathing?
Well, you ain't going to write no book about me, is you?
Maybe. Shall we start digging now?
You got to get that Bunny book.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Zweibel.
Bunny.
Yeah. Why'd we never get married?
Whoops.
I guess.
I never got a boner.
I guess I never got a boner.
Wait a minute, I hear Gene Wilder knocking on. Let's go nail him.
All right, what else is in the news? Very sad day when Michael O'Donoghue is gone.
I just wanted to point out that the story about the man killing his mother and, being in bed with the body parts is also in Newsday, Howard. So it is a real story. Really? There's a rapper whose name is Old Dirty Bastard.
Old dirty bastard?
Yes, that's his rap name.
That's Jackie's wife's name.
Jackie Marlowe.
I hear it thrown around a lot. But anyway, you say what? That this old dirty bastard did what?
Old dirty bastard is now in jail.
Right. That's a funny name.
Well, maybe he's out of jail, but he was arrested the other day when he was caught in an apartment that was not his. Now, police have charged him with burglary. He claims that he was being chased when he ran into this apartment he didn't belong in, and when the police ran in after him, he jumped out of a window. So now he's in a hospital being treated for several broken bones. But he says that he was just trying to get away from some other people, and that's why he was in a home that he didn't belong to. So they say nothing was reported stolen, so maybe he's right.
Maybe old dirty bastard's telling the truth. Although it's hard to go up in front of the judge with that name. Anything else, Robin?
Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to tell you. I don't think so. I think that's enough for one day.
Good job. Anyway, watch us on E! tonight. I don't even know. Oh, Judy Nelson's going to be around, but the last night I heard was pretty wild, little lesbian talk. Little part 2 of lesbian talk. Also, Jackie Jokeman will be appearing at Club Benet. Now, are there any tickets available at this point?
It's almost sold out. It might be sold out.
All right, well, check quickly because there's one big show at the acclaimed Club Benet on Route 35 in Sayreville, New Jersey. Even if you don't like Jackie, get to eat during the show. For dirty jokes and info, call 516-922-WINE. Remember, 516-922-WINE is not a paid service. A lot of people looking forward to that. Jackie, new rave joke page Martling. Also, to order his wild CD or cassette, it's $10 plus 3 shipping and handling. Holiday special, buy 2, get 1 free. Call 1-800-323-KING.
Thank you, Will.
And see the film debut of Fred Norris in the Hotel Manor Inn at the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival, November 12th, 14th, and 15th. Call the festival office at 305-563-0500 for showtime. Don't miss Baba Booey and the Garionette this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Tops Appliance City in Long Island City, and join Baba Bohai at the IBM and New York PC Users Group meeting this Thursday night.
That's tonight.
Okay.
This is Thursday.
That's correct.
For more information, call 212-745-7474.
I agree.
Don't miss Stuttering John appearing in Tony and Tina's wedding. Why don't you get audio of John appearing there?
I think he debuted last night. Was it his debut?
I'd like to hear that. Starting tomorrow, November 9th, and to order is tomorrow, November 9th? Why are these? It's
my fault.
Yo, listen, do me a favor. No more. I'm done with the plugs today. With Baba Booey has to come in. He can't change his plug.
No, that's my fault. I'm supposed to do it.
Well, that's not your job. I'm not interested in that. You being involved in that. If you're looking for a DJ for your office Christmas party, call Scott the Engineer's Rocket Entertainment at 718-BAG-5040. Many dates still available for that busy Christmas party season. Okay, Robin, we're going to leave now.
All right.
Am I songing or
tomorrow, the Zookeeper.
Zookeeper. Zookeeper tomorrow.
Don't forget.
It's like Christmas.
Don't want to miss that show.